Let's go Duke.
All right, Duke assistant coach Chris Carwell. We'll have more from DC when we continue in a moment on our Reed's Jewelers countdown to tip-off.
Blue Devil fans, thanks to your support, the Charity Stripe 1000 Challenge raised over $16,000 for the kids at Duke Children's this season. And next season, you can support the kids and be a part of a game day in Cameron. Host the Duke Children's Charity Stripe Challenge and step on to Coach K court alongside our celebrity shooter. To learn how you can become a game host, email dukekids@duke.edu. That's dukekids@duke.edu.
Your Harris Teeter grocery haul can earn you savings on gas with our fuel points. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 you spend when you shop with your Vic card on your favorite products, fresh produce, and organic brands. Track your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app and redeem your points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. The more you shop, the more points you earn. It's like getting gas money just for shopping like you normally do. Click to learn more. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
This is Duke basketball from Learfield.
Think about the last time you moved. Remember how you said you'd never do it alone again? We know moving is tough, but at 2 Men and a Truck, we make it easy. No matter the move, big or small, we'll make it a smooth one. We're the movers who care and will prove it with our 96% referral rate and courteous background check movers. We're local and affordable. We can help at a price that won't make you wish you'd done it on your own. When you're ready, give us a call or find us online for a free estimate at 2menandatruck.com.
When you're on the move and looking for nonstop college sports action, get the Varsity Network app and take the game with you everywhere. Stream live play-by-play from schools across the country right from your phone, free. Catch hundreds of weekly podcasts, including shows from your favorite teams, all in one place. From football Saturdays to midweek hoops, it's your all-access pass to the college sports world. Whether it's game day or just your daily drive, the Varsity Network app has you covered. Download now and listen live for free on the Varsity Network app.
Welcome inside the Learfield Network studios. Trifford with you for a quick look at the Sweet 16 slate here on Friday night. Duke and St. John's, of course, leading things off at 7-10 from the nation's capital. Blue Devils looking to slow down the Big East Player of the Year, Zuby Ejiofor, averaging 16 points, 7 rebounds for the Red Storm this season. And, of course, the Johnnies led by Coach Rick Pitino making his 14th appearance in the Sweet 16. At 7:35, the top seed from the Midwest region, the Michigan Wolverines, set to take on the 4-seed Alabama. That game in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Michigan well acquainted with that arena, being they just finished up the Big Ten tournament there just 2 weeks back. They lost in their final game there to Purdue, certainly looking to erase some of those memories and make some new ones this weekend in the Windy City. And it will start tonight with their meeting with the Crimson Tide. The second game on tap in Washington, D.C. belongs to the 3-seed Michigan State up against the 2-seed UConn Huskies. Tom Izzo and the Spartans dispatched of North Dakota State in the opening round before outlasting Louisville in the round of 32. The Huskies, on the other hand, had a close one to open their run against Furman, but they were able to knock off UCLA in the second round. That game will begin 30 minutes or so after Duke and St. John's wrap up in Capital One Arena. And the final game of the night back in Chicago for Iowa State and Tennessee. Tip-off should come just a little after 10 o'clock. The Vols looking for a third straight trip to the Elite Eight. Cyclones have their star player Joshua Jefferson listed as questionable as he missed the last outing for Iowa State. They'll certainly hope to have him back in the lineup tonight against Tennessee. That'll do it for your scoreboard preview there. Thursday's in the books. Time to see what Friday night will hold for the Duke Blue Devils in Washington, D.C. We'll take a break, come back with more pregame coverage. You're listening to Duke Basketball from Learfield.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $200 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.49 to 4.37. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
This is the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield.
Whether you're in the market for a new boat or just need service or accessories for an existing boat, turn to Overbee Marine. Now with 2 locations in Kittrell and Lake Gaston, Overbee Marine offers the highest quality of marine products and services, including the latest from Sea Ray, Centurion, Avalon, Bennington, as well as Cobalt boats. Overbee Marine also offers the largest selection of parts in the region, along with full-service facilities at their 2 locations. Stop by or give them a call at 252-586-3593 or online at overbeemarine.com. Overbee Marine. Don't let adventure pass you by.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Welcome back to our Reed's Jewelers Countdown to Tip-Off. Reed's Jewelers is your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers store or online at reeds.com. Courtside at Capital One Arena for Duke and St. John's. Both squads warming up right now, looking at a 7-10 tip in the semifinals of the NCAA East Regional. We mentioned a moment ago, Duke women also playing tonight in the semifinals of the Sacramento Regional out in Sacramento, California. The Duke women are playing LSU at 10 o'clock. That's Duke, a number 8 team in the Associated Press top 25 poll, and LSU number 5. And they played earlier this year back at Cameron Indoor Stadium. LSU won that game 93-77 back on December the 4th. The loss that night dropped Duke's record to 3-6. Since then, they are 23-2. That includes a 17-game winning streak. But talking to Coach Kara Lawson, she's not especially sure that the actual LSU game was what turned around their season, but they certainly have played well since then.
Yeah, so I don't think that loss was like the turning point or anything. You know, we played a game 2 days later or 3 days later against Virginia Tech. That was our first league game in ACC play. So I would kind of push back at that narrative that loss changed everything and changed the season. There were 6 of them. There was a lot of losses that changed the season. I think we knew we had a game. I think we played Thursday night, and then we had a game Sunday afternoon, and that was our first ACC game of the season, and we felt like, hey, you know, it's a new season for us. You know, what happens in non-conference, while it can inform what happens in conference, it doesn't have to, doesn't always. This is a chance for us to, start it fresh, and it doesn't matter what our non-conference record is going into conference. And so we set our sights on the 18-game schedule, try to be the number 1 team in the ACC and see if we could win that. And that's kind of what we focused on. And, you know, we were able to do that.
Kara Lawson, the Duke head coach. Duke and LSU going at 10 o'clock tonight out in Sacramento. Now the Blue Devils tonight in men's action here in D.C. going up against certainly a veteran coach, Rick Pitino, in his 25th NCAA tournament. Has taken 3 different teams to the Final Four. Has got a great record in the event. But with this particular team at St. John's, he's been spending a lot of time just trying to make sure they believe that they can win the whole thing.
You know, I was joking yesterday with the team a little bit about, you can't, this is a once in a lifetime for all you guys. You can't embrace these things. You got to set your mind on what's going to happen when we cut down the nets for a national championship, to try and get them somehow to believe they're going to win, and two, also to get them to understand that you can't be happy where you are at this point, because that if you get content playing a team like Duke, you're going to get blown out. So you got to be really hungry and believe, and we got to foster that type of belief. And if you don't, usually you go home. So we just want to get after it. We know we're playing a great team. There's no question about that. They haven't lost very much, but we want to foster that type of belief that we're going to win this game.
St. John's coach Rick Pitino trying to go 13-1 in his 14 trips to the Sweet 16 tonight against the Duke Blue Devils. Tip-off scheduled for 7:10. More from D.C. when we continue on our Reed's Jewelers countdown to tip-off.
At Reed's Jewelers, we know that the rules of engagement were made to be broken. So don't settle for the first ring you see in the case. When you put a ring on it, make the moment your own with something that's just as unique as your love. Whether you're going big, keeping it subtle, or finding a happy medium, we're here to help you say I do with a one-of-a-kind design. Because doing things your way is what makes them mean everything. Reed's Jewelers, an official partner of Blue Devil Sports. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers in-store or online at reeds.com to chat with an expert.
Down many ways, streets, and lanes all across America, you'll find Valero at your go-to gas station, volunteering with local charities, fueling communities 365 days a year, and generally being a good neighbor. So whether you're in Texas, Louisiana, or Tennessee, or right here in Durham, you can always depend on us getting you where you need to be, in life or on the road, right now.
For the latest in news, notes, and special content, head to GoDuke.com. This is the Blue Devils Sports Network from Learfield.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's bow time. Carolina legends aren't born. They're handmade, only in Bo's Real Southern Kitchen. It all starts with fresh, never frozen chicken marinated for 24 hours in a flavor-packed blend of bold Southern seasonings. Then we hand bread and fry it to crispy, juicy, mouth-watering perfection. That's not just any chicken, that's the Carolina legend. Order some Bojangles and taste what everyone's been craving since 1977. It's bow time.
Duke and St. John's in the Sweet 16. A game tonight brought to you by Valero. Quality fuel, quick savings, all at Valero. Download the Valero Pay Plus app and save instantly on fill-ups. Blue Devils and Red Storm warming up right now for the 7-10 tip. This will be the 25th time these two teams have played each other in college basketball. Duke holds a 17-7 record in the all-time series, and they played 3 times previous in the NCAA tournament. Duke won 2 of those, 1990 and 91. St. John's won 1 back in 1979. This is the first time these schools have met since 2019. Looking forward to hearing what Coach John Shire has to say about this, along with our David Chimate. So stick with us. We'll get to that in just a couple moments right here on the Reed's Jewelers Countdown to Tip-Off.
Greetings from Breeze Airways, your hometown airline flying from Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Fly nonstop from Raleigh to Pensacola and 40 other postcard-worthy cities. This year goes somewhere worth writing home about. Breeze makes it easy with nonstop flights, flexible change policies, and a seriously nice onboard experience. Enjoy premium seating with Breeze Ascent, plus high-speed Wi-Fi and tasty snacks. Book today at flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways, in partnership with Pensacola International Airport.
FanDuel Sports Network is your new home for your home teams.
That's what I'm talking about!
Watch all the big hits.
Oh, mercy!
Big shots.
What a dime!
Big goals.
He scores!
All in one place.
Are you kidding me?
For coverage of Blue Devils athletics, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Charlotte Hornets, visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com today and watch all season long.
Duke plays here.
Flying in, reverses it, up and in for two.
This is the Blue Devils Sports Network from Learfield.
Duke fans don't just watch the game, they live it. Sitting in traffic on the way to the game might sound boring. The pregame rituals, post-win celebrations, and everything in between is nothing but brilliant. That's why PNC is proud to be a sponsor of Duke Athletics and support their devoted fans. Because keeping your finances boring allows you to make exciting memories full of all the things that make game day feel like game day. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. Member FDIC.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids facing unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Join us in the movement to get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org to learn more. Team Impact. All in, all together.
And for Duke, it's on to the Sweet 16 in Washington, D.C.
I think it's going to be incredibly tough to get out of Washington, D.C. But at the same time, I believe in our group that we can, and we'll be prepared against great coaching and great players as well.
And now the Blue Devils want to run. It's Caden Boozer ahead for Saar to punch it down to the left corner. Halminia again. Got it this time. Nicholas doing his thing on the drive. Got inside the lob. Brown hangs from the rim. Evans in the right corner. Waits, drives the baseline. Got inside on Mulvey. Scooped it up and in. Slim coming to life.
Our games moving forward are going to be battles because everyone's trying to prove a point. At the same time, we're trying to prove a point too. We're just trying to prove that we're the best team in the country for a reason.
Caden into the paint, to the rim, high off the window and in. How about the ticker in that kid? Vince can't shoot, steps through, got it blocked. Get that out of there. 2 to shoot, going to have to fire on a step back, and he hit it. Oh, Tommy lights it up. It's Lewis at the shot clock buzzer. Didn't catch the rim. It's a shot clock violation. And the Duke defense rises up. And hello again from our nation's capital, where the Blue Devils arrived tonight for a meeting with St. John's in the Sweet 16. This will mark Duke's 31st appearance in the Sweet 16, eyeing a trip to the Elite Eight for a 26th time in program history. And for a third consecutive season, something that hasn't happened since they went to 5 straight from 1988 to 1992. That is the kind of run John Shire's been on. In just his 4th season, he's already shattered the all-time wins mark by a coach in their first 4 years in Division I. Not to mention the 3 ACC titles, a trip to the Final Four, and 10 NCAA tournament wins. To say the beginning of his tenure has been a success would be a significant understatement. And while each journey is unique, this year's run through the postseason has certainly required his best. Navigating injuries to 2 starters, a much shorter rotation, all with the not-so-subtle desire to keep playing and give those injured guys a chance to come back. Tonight, another step in that direction as Caleb Foster returns, not even 3 weeks removed from an injury many thought would end his season. Caleb's tireless rehab will see him take the floor on this grand stage in a building where less than a month ago against Michigan, this team demonstrated why they have all that is needed to survive this month-long journey along the road to the Final Four. It's Duke and St. John's in the Sweet 16, and off we go from Washington, D.C.
On the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield, this is Duke Basketball. Blue Devil Basketball is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. The Hilton Garden Inn, your home base near Duke University. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Duke Health, official team doctors for Duke Athletics. Learn more at dukehealth.org. And by the Washington Duke Inn and Golf Club, honoring tradition over trend for over 30 years. Still ahead, keys to victory, starting lineups in the opening tip, tip. This is Duke basketball from Learfield.
It's tournament time, Duke fans.
Deep three. Give it to him.
Whether you're watching from Cameron or cheering from home, gear up for the postseason with the latest Blue Devils apparel from Duke University stores. Score official Nike gear and exclusive Duke merchandise you don't find anywhere else. Shop in store or anytime at shop.duke.edu. Duke University stores, your headquarters for Duke basketball.
Here's a club you'll want to get into, Club Citgo. It's the super easy app that opens the door to great fuel savings and more. Sign up and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up, plus everyday savings that really add up. You can also enter our sweepstakes with multiple winners and giveaways, like free gas for a year. And Club Citgo makes paying easy with a convenient mobile pay feature. So welcome to the club where all the action is. Download Club Citgo today. Savings good up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
This is Blue Devil basketball from Learfield.
Think about the last time you moved. Remember how you said you'd never do it alone again? We know moving is tough, but at Two Men and a Truck, we make it easy. No matter the move, big or small, we'll make it a smooth one. We're the movers who care and will prove it with our 96% referral rate and courteous background check movers. We're local and affordable, and we can help at a price that won't make you wish you'd done it on your own. When you're ready, give us a call or find us online for a free estimate at twomenandatruck.com.
When you're on the move and looking for nonstop college sports action, get the Varsity Network app and take the game with you everywhere. Stream live play-by-play from schools across the country right from your phone, free. Catch hundreds of weekly podcasts, including shows from your favorite teams, all in one place. From football Saturdays to midweek hoops, it's your all-access pass to the college sports world. Whether it's game day or just your daily drive, the Varsity Network app has you covered. Download now and listen live for free on the Varsity Network app.
It's time to go inside the Duke locker room with head coach John Shire. Presented by Duke Health, official team doctors for Duke Athletics. Learn more at dukehealth.org. Once again, here's the voice of the Blue Devils, David Shoemate.
Duke at St. John's here tonight, and Coach, before we get to the game, the week of preparation, the week of practice, the week of recovery for the guys that are hurt, how valuable has this week been?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, just buying us more time to continue to adapt to who our team is right now, trying to get healthier each day, and obviously had some really good days of practice to prepare for a really good St. John's team.
You and I have talked a lot the last several years about the uniqueness of Caleb Foster's journey, and here he is going to play here tonight, a couple weeks removed from a pretty serious injury. I don't know if you can say any more about that kid.
Yeah, I'm pretty speechless that we're in this position, and he's been so determined since that injury happened just to come back, and our medical team has been incredible to make this a reality. And I was a little skeptical until I kept seeing his attitude and the way he was working, and obviously you hope he can give us a good lift tonight, and I know his teammates are going to really feel his presence out there. I couldn't be more proud to coach this guy.
You mentioned his teammates. To me, it's been fascinating to watch your practice last week or so. Some of the loudest ovations, biggest energy is just when Pat and Caleb have gotten on the floor. What does it tell you about the closeness of this team? Yeah, the way that we've grown and how connected we are, from day one this summer to see where we are now, has been remarkable. And Pat and Caleb, they're total team guys, and I think everybody knows how important they are to this group. And so even for a walkthrough, when they get out there, it's an energy jolt for the rest of our team, and our guys love seeing Pat and Caleb out on the floor. Let's talk about St. John's a little bit. Rick Pitino's team really good at pressuring Kansas. At times struggled to get it inbounds in their last game out. What makes that so difficult to work against? Well, you can't take the basic things for granted, including what you're saying, Shoemate, getting the ball in bounds. And so poise is incredibly important. Being strong mentally and physically is incredibly important. And then not allowing those things to take you out of the rest of the game with how you have to focus and execute as well.
One of the things that stood out in their postseason play, Big East tournament here in the NCAA tournament, they've gotten off to fast starts against just about everybody. What's allowed them to do that? How can you guys slow that down?
Well, they sure come out with a sense of urgency, right? And I think their defense can knock you back right away. And so for us, our defense always travels. That's the thing that's going to carry us, set the tone that way. And then offensively, play with the confidence, but also play where we have respect for the fact if you give them the ball or you're weak with it, they're going to make you pay.
You mentioned the strength of your guys' defense, having those guys back in the fold. We talked throughout the year about how you guys can wear on teams over the course of the game. I think we still saw it in Greenville a week ago. Is that still a big facet of what you guys want to do?
Well, hopefully the fact that we're more whole for this game, we can get back to doing that at even a higher level, right? And that's something when you play 9 guys and have a rotation where there's an attitude of not pacing. There's the mindset of just throwing yourself into the process of the game, whether you win that specific result or not, that specific possession. If we do the right thing time and time again, we feel eventually we're going to start to get some separation and make some really good winning plays down the stretch.
Finally, Coach, I'll let you go on this. All year long, you guys have been an elite rebounding team. St. John's, a good bit of their offense comes off of offensive rebounds. How important to keep them off the offensive boards tonight?
Yeah, it's huge, and they come from different positions. They're 3, 4s, and 5s go every time, and they can be on the perimeter. They have a lot of movement in their offense, so hitting bodies is important, but also being in the right position to do that is just as key. So I won't be surprised if the rebounding is the difference in tonight's game.
All right, Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, you mate.
Your Harris Teeter grocery haul can earn you savings on gas with our fuel points. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 you spend when you shop with your Vic card on your favorite products, fresh produce, and organic brands. Track your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app and redeem your points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. The more you shop, the more points you earn. It's like getting gas money just for shopping like you normally do. Click to learn more. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Blue Devil fans, thanks to your support, the Charity Stripe 1000 Challenge raised over $16,000 for the kids at Duke Children's this season. And next season, you can support the kids and be a part of a game day in Cameron. Host the Duke Children's Charity Stripe Challenge and step on to Coach K court alongside our celebrity shooter. To learn how you can become a game host, email dukekids@duke.edu. That's dukekids@duke.edu.
This is Duke basketball from Learfield.
Whether you're in the market for a new boat or just need service or accessories for an existing boat, turn to Overby Marine. Now with 2 locations in Kittrell and Lake Gaston, Overby Marine offers the highest quality of marine products and services, including the latest from Sea Ray, Centurion, Avalon, Bennington, as well as Cobalt boats. Overby Marine also offers the largest selection of parts in the region, along with full-service facilities at their 2 locations. Stop by or give them a call at 252-586-3593 or online at overbymarine.com. Overby Marine. Don't let adventure pass you by.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
And welcome back to D.C. as we close in on the start tonight. The Sweet 16 between Duke and St. John's will be the 25th meeting all time between these two, the 4th in the NCAA tournament. But Duke has won 2 of the previous 3. You heard the ovation in the background from both the Duke fans and the St. John's fans as the Blue Devils take the floor for the first time as we welcome you courtside. David Shoemate alongside John Roth. John Rose, our producer and engineer, back inside our network studios is Trip Hurd as always. And John Raw, with all due respect to the South, the Midwest, and the West, this is the building to be in here in this weekend of the tournament. Just all the different storylines, national championships, Hall of Fame coaches, future Hall of Fame coaches, and thinking about John Shire, and what a centerpiece to get it started.
No question. You've got the other three head coaches besides John have all won national championships. He's won one as a player and as an assistant coach. A couple of Hall of Famers, as you mentioned. This is star-studded.
And last time we were in this building, Duke beat Michigan, right?
Yeah.
And it felt like the Blue Devils were rolling towards perhaps the trips to Indianapolis in the Final Four. Hit some speed bumps on the injury front down the stretch. They've navigated. Look, they're not 100%, but they're getting closer to being healthy here tonight.
They absolutely are. It's become popular not to pick Duke to win the national championship. Now, that day, everybody was picking Duke, but with the injuries, it's become a thing to think somebody else is going to do this, but they're going to love to have Caleb Foster back out on the court for whatever he can give them here tonight. He's such a presence for this team, such a leader, and whatever he can do. He's already been a big influence throughout the NCAA tournament. We'll see if he can continue that on the court tonight.
Two teams here late in the season that have prided themselves on their defense. On the offensive end, what do you want to see from Duke here tonight?
I want to see the Blue Devils really just stay connected like they have all year and really look for each other. And I think everything needs to go through Cameron Boozer as it has all year. But certainly the Blue Devils, the connection is what they thrive on.
We mentioned those three meetings in the NCAA tournament. All of them were a good bit of time ago. The first was in 1979. That was the time that St. John's won 80-78 in the second round. In 1990, it was a 4-point win for Duke in the second round, 76-72. And a year later in the regional final, Duke won it by 17, 78-61. Of course, there's some history with Rick Pitino as well. We'll talk about that as the night moves along. It's Duke and St. John's. We'll tip it off when you come back.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $200 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.49 to 4.37. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Duke Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
This is the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield.
It's bow time. Carolina legends aren't born. They're handmade, only in Bo's Real Southern Kitchen. It all starts with fresh, never frozen chicken marinated for 24 hours in a flavor-packed blend of bold Southern seasonings. Then we hand bread and fry it to crispy, juicy, mouth-watering perfection. That's not just any chicken, that's the Carolina legend. Order some Bojangles and taste what everyone's been craving since 1977. It's bow time.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Dang, I forgot the wakeboard. How am I supposed to enjoy myself without my favorite water activity? I mean, sure, we could still go tubing, fishing, or even just relax on a floaty, but without the wakeboard, what's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Back inside the network studios as we close in on tip-off between Duke and St. John's. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield. Duke and St. John's coming up about 20 minutes or so from now. They'll get underway in Chicago with Michigan and Alabama hooking up in the United Center. So we'll keep an eye on that one and keep you updated throughout our broadcast tonight. Michigan State and UConn follow our game in D.C. and Tennessee, Iowa State in the nightcap. Great night of college hoops coming up. and we're getting ready to start it off in Capital One Arena. Here's the voice of the Blue Devils, David Shumate.
All right, Trip, let's dive into our starting lineups. We're going to begin with the Red Storm, 30-6, champions of the Big East. They won the regular season and the tournament. They come in very hot, having won 8 in a row. The Blue Devils, of course, have the longest winning streak, active streak in the country at 13 in a row. St. John's 30-6. They beat Kansas in the second round, 67-65 at the buzzer. Dylan Darling, the hero, his only 2 points came at the end of regulation. It's earned him the nickname Bells, how he's played late in games. Number 0, a redshirt junior guard, 6'1", 175. Out of Spokane, Washington, the transfer from Idaho State was the player of the year in the Big Sky a year ago. Number 4 is Oziah Sellers. He's a transfer from Stanford, senior guard, 6'5", 190. Out of Hayward, California, only had 3 points against Kansas, but he's hit 3 or more threes 9 times this season. Number 23 is Bryce Hopkins. 3 double-doubles on the year, can play both the 3 and the 4. A graduate student, 6'7", 225 out of Oak Park, Illinois. A transfer from Providence. He averages nearly 14 points per game and over 6 rebounds per game. 10 of 14 from 3 in their last 3 games. He only had 21 before that the rest of the season. Number 24 is Zubi Ejiofor, the senior forward, 6'9", 245 out of Garland, Texas. The Big East Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Scholar Athlete of the Year. He's their leading scorer and rebounder, 16 points and 7 rebounds per game. And rounding out the starting 5 is the transfer from Cincinnati, number 1, Dylan Mitchell, senior forward, 6'8", 210 out of Tampa, Florida. Second on the team to Ejiofor with 108 assists on the season for head coach Rick Pitino in his 3rd season at the helm at St. John's. The associate head coach is Steve Masiello. The assistants, Ricky Johns, Bob Walsh, Talik Brown, and Greg Jankowski. Meanwhile, for the Blue Devils, 34-2 in the Sweet 16 for a 31st time after beating TCU 81-58 last Saturday, and it's the same starting 5 here tonight.
Caden Boozer, I'm a point guard. I'm a freshman from Miami, Florida.
Isaiah Evans, shooting guard, sophomore, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Damesar, shooting guard, freshman. I'm from Italy, Oderzo, Italy.
Malik Brown, forward, senior, Culpeper, Virginia.
Cameron Boozer, forward, freshman, Miami, Florida.
And they'll hit the floor for head coach John Shire in his 4th season at the helm. The associate head coaches, Chris Carroll and Emmanuel Dildy. The assistants, Evan Brads and Tyler Thornton. And the player development specialist is Jace McCain. And as they finish out the starting lineups here inside Capital One Arena, which, by the way, they can fit 20,356 inside here and not a seat to be had. A doubleheader tonight, Duke and St. John's, and then Michigan State and Connecticut. The 2 winners will meet on Sunday. We'll find out the time a little bit later on here tonight. But John Roth, earlier in the pregame show, was talking about a chance to go to 3 consecutive Elite Eights for the first time since that 5-year run in the late 80s into the early 90s. Gives you some perspective what John Shire's doing in his 4th season.
It really does. It's been an incredible first 4 seasons for Coach Shire. That first year in the NCAA tournament, had some injury issues and lost in the second round, and since then he has been money in this tournament, and looking forward to that to continue here in this contest here today. He's got this team really listening in and honing in on the things that he thinks they need to do to come out ahead, and it's mostly pay attention to their game more than their opponents. We'll see if they can do that tonight.
Some final instructions from the respective head coaches as St. John's, the visitors, obviously is the 5 seed in the East, will wear red jerseys and shorts with black numerals, white lettering, a white stripe down the side, and a St. John's logo at the front of the shorts. Meanwhile, for the Blue Devils, in the familiar home whites with Duke Blue numerals and lettering, a Duke Blue stripe down the side, and an Iron Duke D logo in whites at the bottom of the shorts. We are situated across from the team benches as we look directly across at John Shire's team. A brief huddle. Before we get it started, we're going to watch them go left to right as we see things here in the opening half. As we told you, 25th meeting between these two all time. The last meeting was back in February 2019. That's when Zion Williamson and company were doing work, and they beat the Johnnies by 30, 91-61. Of course, the big storyline, Caleb Foster likely to play here tonight as we look across. Nice to see him not on a scooter. Neither is Patrick Gungba. We'll see how many minutes those guys can go, but just great to have them back in the rotation. Ron Groover's going to lead our officiating crew tonight. They use mixed crews, obviously, in the postseason. As you know, he works primarily in the ACC. Doug Schau's out of the SEC, and Pat Driscoll out of the Big East. Great to have you with us. Brown and Ejiofor to jump it off, and away we go as St. John's controls the opening tap and brings it across midcourt right to left. Blue Devils open up man-to-man defensively. And up top, it's Sellers, greeted by Isaiah Evans. Picked up his dribble, needs some help. Throws it down to the left baseline and Ejiofor. Brown defending him. Backs him down to the block. Can't get a shot off. Needs help. Back up top it comes. It's Hopkins with 9 on the timer. A couple of jab steps. Back pedals, bobbled it, got it back. 6 to shoot. To the right, Ejiofor, a deep 3. Short. And the rebound into the arms of Isaiah Evans. So a good defensive stand, and here comes Duke looking for their first advantage of the ball game. And it's Cameron Boozer guarded by Ejiofor. St. John's man-to-man as well. On the right, Caden Boozer. Dribbles to the right baseline, off of a curl. Evans up top. Swings it low, 12 to shoot. Sends it to left, and Brown faces up on Mitchell. Looking back door, it's not there. To the left, it's Evans. 7 to shoot. Another screen. Into the paint he goes. All the way in. Got the step through on Sellers. Put it off the window and in. Nice play by Isaiah Evans. And Duke is on the board first. 2-0, a minute in. Sellers for St. John's. Flip it to the right baseline, and Mitchell. Now back up top, Darling a catch. In front of Caden Boozer, to the right corner, Mitchell again. Into the paint on Dame Sarr. Spins, goes up with the left hand, and got the roll. So Dylan Mitchell has the first points for St. John's, and we're tied at 2.
And you can see St. John's coming out in that really full court pressure to try to make it difficult for you to get the ball over half court.
It was a nightmare for Kansas to deal with. They turned it over 16 times. Here's Malik Brown, 15 to shoot. Whip it inside, Cameron Boozer. Great position, put it off the window and in. So Cameron Boozer didn't get his first field goal until the second half against TCU. On the board early here, it's 4-2. Not even 2 minutes in.
And Whip, the correct description of that pass from Malik. Wow.
Inside Ejiofor, fed Mitchell on a cut off the left window and in. So Mitchell has all 4 for St. John's, and we're tied at 4. 18:03 to play in the opening half. Cameron Boozer to get in, bounces it for Caden. Greeted by Sellers in backcourt. They pick it up full court, man-to-man. Caden across midcourt, weaving through the traffic, into the paint, little bully ball, flipped it up, lost it, got it back, into left corner Sarr, and now Brown's open up top, and it rattled out on a 3. Mitchell the rebound for St. John's. He streams across midcourt. Tied at 4, 17:40 to play in the half. Mitchell to the hoop, flipped it up, missed it wildly, out of bounds, last touch by St. John's. So the Blue Devils will have it back with 17:38 to play until the break, 4-piece. And for each side, all 4 points have come in the paint. More full court pressure. The Blue Devils bounce it in for Caden Boozer. He's greeted by Sellers as he brings it across midcourt. Works his way to the right between the legs on the dribble. Now to Brown, back for Caden. Looking to the left. Evans can't shake free. So to the right, it's Dame Sarr. To the baseline, Brown. Plenty of time, 14 to shoot. 12 feet out on the right. Back outside for Caden Boozer now. 10 and 9 on the timer. He penetrates between the legs, got to the middle on Sellers. Into the paint, steps through, flipped it off the window, and got the roll. So Caden Boozer scores inside, and Duke has the lead again, 6-4. Not even 3 minutes in. Hopkins, a baseline drop, got by Boozer, but forgot the basketball. Out of bounds and over to the Blue Devils, and this is a good start, John Ross, because you think about what St. John's has been doing. Big East quarterfinal, they jumped on Providence 9-0. Semifinals, 8-0 on Seton Hall. Championship game, 10-0 on Connecticut. First round of the NCAA tournament, 13-0 on Northern Iowa. And against Kansas, they jumped on top 14-6.
Right now, Duke's on top 6-4 and 3 minutes to play, so an excellent start for the Blue Devils.
And this defense is a different animal if you got to work from behind. Talking about St. John's. Here's Caden Boozer on the right, got a step on Darling, whistling a foul. Darling on the reach-in, that'll be his first. And with 16:53 to play on our opening half, the first substitution of the game will be Yosan Santa, the sophomore guard out of Fall River, Massachusetts for St. John's, as Sellers comes out for the Red Storm. Caden Boozer to cue it in. Waits, lobs it to his brother Cameron. Faces up on Hopkins on the right baseline. 15 to shoot. Spun to the baseline. Here comes a double team from behind. Back outside. Sarr to the left. Evans to the corner. Caden Boozer. Little ball fake and a drive on Ejiofor. 8 to shoot. Fed it back to Isaiah. Crossing over on Mitchell. Looking for space. Thinking about it. Back for Brown. Back door. Pass deflected. Stolen by St. John's. And Santa. And he'll bring it across midcourt. 3.5 minutes in. Blue Devils with the 2-point lead here early. Up top, Ejiofor. Now a handoff for Darling. Waits, dribbles to the left. Picked up his dribble. Fed it to the right, and Sander. The baseline pass. Stolen by Brown. Cut in front of Ejiofor. Now here's Dame Sarr left to right. Leave it for Evans for 3. Short. Brown, the offensive rebound. Put it up and in. Malik has his first field goal. The lead grows to 4.
Malik running the court. Started off with the turnover and finished at the other end.
So here's Darling for St. John's for Mitchell on the left. A handoff for Hopkins. Now Ejiofor top of the key. Looking inside, not there. The Blue Devil faithful making some noise, loving the defense. And here is Darling, nearly lost it up top in front of Brown. Over to the right sideline, and Hopkins, 7 to shoot. A bounce pass into space for Edge of 4. Thought about a 3. He will take it. Miss it again. The rebound for Isaiah Evans. The Blue Devils have made 4 of their first 7. They're looking for more. And here's Caden Boozer across midcourt. Working with the left-hand dribble. Bounces it for Brown, top of the key. Looking inside, looks to the right, dribbles that way. Nothing doing, fed it to Caden Boozer. Now inside it goes for Cameron. One-on-one with Hopkins. 10 to shoot. Back for Caden for 3. Count it. Caden Boozer off to a hot start, and all of a sudden the lead is 7.
11-4, Duke on top after almost 5 minutes.
Here's Darling for St. John's. Send it over to the right, and Mitchell. A handoff through traffic. Sannon. Can't do anything with it. To the right, Mitchell. He's sizing it up. Back up top, it's Hopkins. Dribbles to the right. 12 to shoot. Looking inside, not there. Up top, Darling now. Waits, fires from deep, and hit it. So Dylan Darling, he had been 0 for 16 from 3 in their last 3 games, but he was 39% in Big East play, and he hits one here to bring St. John's back within 4, make it 2, as Mitchell got a deflection off the inbound and laid it in. So there's that pressure having an effect, and it's 11-9 with 14:37 to play in the half. Nearly another theft as Mitchell got a deflection. Duke will have it, though, when we come back as it went out of bounds. Good start here in D.C. 14:36 to play till halftime. Duke 11 and St. John's 9.
College athletes are more than competitors. They're leaders, creators, and storytellers. Through True Blue TV, your business can work with top Duke NIL student athletes to build authentic content and real brand connections. From digital campaigns to social storytelling, True Blue TV helps create content that connects Duke student athletes and businesses like yours, creating partnerships that matter on and off the field. Work with Duke NIL athletes. Build your brand. Partner with True Blue TV today at truebluetv.com.
Down many ways, streets, and lanes all across America, you'll find Valero at your go-to gas station, volunteering with local charities, fueling communities 365 days a year, and generally being a good neighbor. So whether you're in Texas, Louisiana, or Tennessee, or right here in Durham, you can always depend on us getting you where you need to be, in life or on the road, right now.
Coverage of Duke basketball in the NCAA tournament is presented by Duke Stores, your headquarters for Duke basketball.
Back inside the network studios, this broadcast of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship is authorized under broadcast rights granted by the NCAA through Westwood One. It is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the NCAA and Westwood One is strictly prohibited. Duke out to a 11-9 lead early on. Let's head back to D.C. Here's David Shoemake.
All right, Tripp, thank you very much. Just underway. As he told you, good start on the board for the Blue Devils. That was going to be so important. Now rebounding St. John's 5-1, and you look at what they've done this year, now rebounding their opponents 32 of the 36 games they've played, also holding their opponents to below their season average in scoring in 34 out of 36. St. John's, yes, they're really good defensively. They can also score. It's second in the Big East at better than 81 points per game. And some of that stuff comes off of turnovers, and we've already seen that imprint early, John Roth, the deflection that led to a bucket for Mitchell, and another deflection that chased us to the timeout. And now when the Blue Devils do have possession coming out of the timeout, you're going to hear a roar because set to check in yes. Over by the scorer's table. War, Patrick Gungba, who made his return last week, the sophomore out of Manassas, Virginia. And then, of course, you have Caleb Foster, the junior guard, 6'5", 205 out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. He's missed the last 5 games, of course, injured his foot in the first half against Carolina. Didn't play in the ACC tournament, didn't play last week in Greenville. You listen to the national conversation, a lot of people thought he was done for the year. But he worked his tail off. And John Shire, talking with the media yesterday, mentioned that Caleb said, if I put in all this work, I want to have the opportunity to put this jersey on. Remember, he didn't get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament in his first season. Last year, obviously, was coming off the bench. And you hear the roar as he is being introduced to this sellout crowd here tonight in D.C.
Yeah, all the Duke fans on their feet over there.
Caden Boozer inbounding in an awkward spot in front of his own bench, having a hard time. Lobs it to Caleb Foster. Immediate impact, right? A ball handler that can come get it and bring it across. He's out there with Caden, Cam, Gongba, and Nicholas Haminya for the first time, the freshman out of Los Angeles. Here's Gongba, top of the key. Edge of 4 defending. Left it for Caleb. On the drive, the lob to Gongba. Welcome back. An assist and a dunk, and the lead grows to 4. I think that felt good for those two guys. Left baseline, Hopkins stepped through and laid it in for St. John's. Found room underneath the hoop. Both teams scoring well early. 13-11, the Blue Devil advantage. Here's Cameron to get it in for Caden. Faces up on Jackson. Drives along the right sideline. Caden got a step on him. Into the paint, to the hoop, flip it up. Gongba catches, a lot of contact, and he'll shoot 2. And it's Josan Sayanin who picks up the foul. And as Gongba heads to the line, we remind you that Food Line is the presenting sponsor of the Score to Get More campaign, and proud to announce that a total of 30,000 meals have been donated this season for our local neighbors in need for free throws made by the Blue Devils during the regular season. Over 8 million meals and counting have been donated by Food Line Feeds through the Score to Get More campaign to local college pantries and food banks. Pat's first free throw short. And he's a good free throw shooter, nearly 70%. You hear the St. John's fans because it didn't quite get to the rim. Did not attempt a free throw last week against TCU. He'll have one more coming. And the right-hander rimmed off on the second. So 0 for 2. Of course, free throw shooting was so good last week in Greenville. A big reason why they're here this weekend.
20 for 23 in that second game.
St. John's in possession, trailing by 2. Edge of 4, looks to the left, nothing doing. Hands it off to Jackson up top. He'll jump up for 3 and give St. John's their first lead of the ball game. Ian Jackson, 35% from 3 on the year. Made 2 of 7 against Kansas last Sunday. Caleb Foster across midcourt, trailing for the first time. 13:22 to play in the half. Caleb looks to the left, dribbles that way, bounces one for Gongba, catches top of the key. Looks to the left, there's Nicholas Haminya. Looking inside, Hopkins and Cameron Boozer doing battle. Cam catches in front of Hopkins, backs him down, left side of the paint. Now into the paint, steps through, hesitates, goes up, and didn't get the roll. Gongba tapped the rebound, but Hopkins has it. And here comes St. John's across midcourt. They've made each of their last 4. Down low, edge of 4, blocked by Caden Boozer, and the foul is called. Caden really with no other option but to foul edge of 4. And that'll send the 71.8% free throw shooter to the line. St. John's first trip to the charity stripe gives us a chance to tell you that the FanDuel Sports Network is your home for your home teams. Watch all the big hits, big shots, big goals, all in one place. For coverage of Blue Devils athletics, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Charlotte Hornets, visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com today and watch all season long.
You heard Chris Carrawell in our pregame scouting report asked, well, what's the biggest thing you have to do tonight? And the first thing he said he was worried about was transition. You could see why on that last play. St. John's so quick getting the ball down the floor.
As Edgefor makes the first free throw, Caden Boozer comes out. Isaiah Evans, a sophomore out of Fayetteville, returns. Mitchell also out for St. John's as Ruben Prey, the sophomore out of Portugal, comes in. Edgefor's second free throw can build their lead to 3. Caught the bracket, went straight up and went in. So 16-13, St. John's has the advantage. In for Caleb Foster. This is a 12-2 push since the Blue Devils had that 11-4 advantage. And 6 straight for the Red Storm. Here's Caleb Foster to the right, behind the back with a dribble. Crossing over on Jackson, knocked loose, and Evans has it out near midcourt. 13 to shoot. Isaiah crossover, drives on edge of 4, into the paint, spins, waits, steps through, put it off the window and in. What the crafty footwork for Isaiah Evans, and he brings Duke back within 1.
Both of his field goals have been nice drives with shot fakes that he's been able to finish at the rim.
7.5 minutes gone in our opening half. Duke trails 16-15. Here's edge of 4, looking to the right, a handoff for Ian Jackson. Off a couple of screens, weaves it to the right, sends it into the arms of Prey for 3. Hit it. Ruben Prey doesn't take many, but he hits them. 55% from 3 on the year, but just his 12th make. And he gives St. John's a 4-point lead, 19-15. Not even 8 minutes in. More full court pressure. Cameron Boozer gets it in. So the Red Storm 3 of 5 from 3 to get it started. And Little was 1 for their first 3.
St. John's averages about 7 threes made per game.
Cameron Boozer on the drive into the paint. The lob to Gongba. That pass was whipped out of there by Prey. It'll stay with Duke. Yeah. They hit them only at a 33% clip, but they made 11 against Kansas, but they needed 35 attempts to get there. Timeout on the floor. 11:51 to play till halftime. Duke trails at 19-15.
You got next. The next open road. The next uncharted trail. With Ford Bronco and Ford Bronco Sport, you've got the next great SUV. Equipped with a blend of off-road performance, on-road precision, and plenty of power to conquer the next adventure. For the latest offers on a new Bronco or Bronco Sport, you got next. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
The passion, the excitement, the tradition. This is Duke basketball from Learfield.
Duke fans don't just watch the game, they live it. Sitting in traffic on the way to the game might sound boring. The pregame rituals, post-win celebrations, and everything in between is nothing but brilliant. That's why PNC is proud to be a sponsor of Duke Athletics and support their devoted fans. Because keeping your finances boring allows you to make exciting memories full of all the things that make game day feel like game day. PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. Member FDIC.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids facing unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Join us in the movement to get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org to learn more. Team Impact. All in, all together.
Back here in D.C., 11:51 to play in our opening half. The Blue Devils trail at 19-15. Of course, taking on Rick Pitino, who's in his 38th year as a Division I head coach. He's third on the all-time wins list with 915. Made a bunch of stops over the years, most notably at Kentucky and Louisville. Even had some time in the NBA. The Blue Devils against Rick Pitino are 1-1 all-time in the NCAA tournament, 5-3 overall, including his time when he was at Louisville and, of course, at Kentucky. The one meeting, John Ross, you might remember, 1992.
Yeah.
104-103 in overtime, the regional final. And in 2013, however you want to look at this, the official record books say it didn't happen because of some issues at Louisville on the compliance side of things, but they did win the game by 22. So those are the two marks. That was also a regional final, but when you think about that, Leitner shot, and we got a guy 3 or 4 seats down from us to our right that played a role in that as well. What pops to mind for you?
Oh, just how great of a game that was. I mean, that was a wonderful finish, but that whole game was just tension-ridden from start to finish. Such a high level. Everybody was just doing everything right all game. It was just such an incredible game. When people say that's maybe the best NCAA tournament game ever, I mean, it certainly is from the ones I've seen. It is just, it was just an incredible night.
Rick Pitino was asked about it yesterday. He said, yeah, I know that everyone thinks it's a nightmare for me, but he kind of echoed what you said, what a great game it was, and just enjoyed being a part of it. And John Shire was asked about it and reflected on how he was like 5 years old.
But that was his first real conscious memory of following college basketball, and Duke was watching that 92 Duke Kentucky game.
As a deflection off the inbound, Homenya couldn't get it in. Hopkins the takeaway. He'll drive on Foster, scoop it up, draw a foul, and shoot two. And down goes Gongba as well. I don't think anything malicious from either side, just bodies fall into the deck and everybody back to their feet. Yeah, the head coach was talking about after that shot made his parents go outside and play different roles so he could recreate the shot.
Absolutely. And you think about that, he was 5. Right now he's 38 and Patino's 73. So there's this, and Pitino was the coach of that game 34 years ago now.
So Hopkins will go to the line at 72%. The foul is officially on Caleb Foster. And Hopkins shaken loose. Gongba appears to be okay, but this St. John's pressure having an effect early. Already led to a couple of steals, a bucket for Mitchell, and now free throws for Hopkins at 72%. And the right-handed free throw shooter missed the first. So he'll have one more. The Blue Devils have made 4 of their last 5 from the field, John Roth, but it feels like they haven't gotten an attempt in the last few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the teams are very similar, shooting 7 for 10 St. John's, 7 for 11 Duke, but one of the big differences is that St. John's, 3 of their 7 have been from three-point range. Duke's only had 1 3.
And here is Hopkins with one more, trying to build the St. John's lead to 5. Got that one. So the Blue Devils have led by as many as 7. Now the Red Storm with a 20-15 advantage with 11:47 to play in the half. Hamenya trying to get it in, having a hard time. Lobs it for Cameron Boozer. Catches in front of Sandin. Now a chance to attack. Into the paint, to the rack, off the window. Too strong. Gung with the offensive rebound for a moment. Jackson took it away. And here comes St. John's across midcourt with the 5-point lead. Jackson to the right. He's got it back. 3-ball on the way. No. And the rebound knocked away by Hamenya. Gray thought he had it. Hamenya took it away, and now he wants to race across midcourt. Crossing over on Sandin. Put his arm around him. And over to the left of Caleb Foster. A quick peek to the bench for the play call. He's being harassed in midcourt by Dylan Mitchell. Works his way to left, hands it off for Isaiah Evans. Now up top, it's Cameron Boozer. Back for Isaiah. Room to shoot for 3, and it's too strong. Gungwa trying to get a hand on the rebound. He did, but able to save it in the corner as Hopkins for St. John's. So 9 minutes gone. St. John's leads at 20-15. Here's Jackson curling to the right. Whip it back to the left. Hopkins. A little ball fake. He'll drive inside. Backpedal at the free throw line. Forgot the basketball. Nearly lost it as Evans was nearby. But into the arms of Prey. To Sandin for 3. Rimmed off. The rebound for Prey. Falling out of bounds. Foul on Gungba. They say he pushed him. And for Pat, that'll be his first. And after the Blue Devils jumped on top 11-7, it feels like all the momentum has swung to the Red Storm. With 10:44 to play in our first half as we see Dame Sarr come back in, the freshman out of Uderzo, Italy. We also see Caden Boozer. He's out there with his brother Cameron. Those two guys. The twin freshman out of Miami and Malik Brown back in as well. The senior forward, 6'9", 225 out of Culpeper, Virginia. Evans is the only one who stays along with Cameron Boozer.
So the original starting lineup back out there.
And it'll be Mitchell to cue it in the left corner. Sandin, a clean look over Evans. Missed it. The rebound fought for. Ripped away by Ejiofor. Up top, Jackson. He'll launch and miss. They fight for the rebound this time, and it's saved into the arms of Caden Boozer. So across midcourt, trailing by 5. Here's Brown, top of the key. Works his way to the right. And here's Isaiah Evans. Right in his face is Ruben Prey. Trying to feed it inside for Cameron Boozer. Ejiofor on him. The pass is deflected and stolen. And here comes Jackson across midcourt. 1-on-2. He'll wait for help. Lob it into the post. Ejiofor on Evans. Step through. Block from behind. Brown got a piece. And the pass, the outlet pass, deflected in backcourt by St. John's. The Blue Devils will keep it. But inbounding in an awkward spot in backcourt, and that gives the St. John's Red Storm a chance to set up their pressure with 10-11 to play in the first half. As we see Hopkins return, Sellers return, and Darling as well. As Prey, Jackson, and Sandin all head out.
One thing that's not going to change is this pressure. They're going to do this the entire game. You got to settle in and handle it.
Once you get it in, they back out of it fairly quickly, but it's no small thing to get it in. This time they bounce it for Caden Boozer, and now St. John's retreats into their man-to-man defense as Caden comes across midcourt. Darling on him. Bounces one up top. Hopkins all over Boozer. No whistle, though. Into the paint, all the way to the rim, and we get a whistle and a foul up top. And I think they're going to get Hopkins, and that'll be his first. Was that the second or third pusher grab, do you think, John Roth, that drew the whistle?
It wasn't the first.
Actually, at that point, you didn't need it because he had an advantage going to the basket.
Yeah.
Here's Caden to cue it in. Waiting, looking for a lob. It's not there. Finds Isaiah Evans in the left corner. Midway point of the opening half, Duke down by 5. Isaiah going into the post. Steps through on Sellers. Flipped it up and in. Isaiah doing work inside. He's got 6. That's their first field goal in a little more than 3 minutes, and it brings them back within 3. To the left, it's Hopkins. He'll take the 3 over Caden Boozer and hit it. So Bryce Hopkins knocks one down off the left wing. His first 3 of the ball game, and St. John's has their biggest lead at 6, 23-17. They are 4 of 10 from outside to start. Here's Cameron Boozer with 9.5 minutes to play until the break. Send it to the right of Malik Brown. Looking inside. Waiting. Run into by Evans. Flipped it inside for Boozer. 1-on-1 with Hopkins. Steps through. Put it off the window. No. Brown there to clean it up. Put it off the glass. He's got 4. And they're back within 4. 23-19. 9:15 to play in the half. Got to find some stops. St. John's is 8 of 16 from the field. Inside, wild flip. Missed badly out of the arms of Darling. And now Dame Sarr a chance to run. Weaving to the left, it's Evans. Little ball fake. He'll drive. Got a step. Oh! Rises up and throws it down with 2 hands. He's got 8, and they're back within 2.
Blue Devils finishing in their red zone offense with a dunk.
8:50 to play till halftime, 23-21. Here's Hopkins on the left wing. Up top, deflected by Brown. Out of bounds. It'll stay with St. John's with 8:47 to play in the half, but now the Duke defense starting to round into form. St. John's just one of their last 7 from the field. As we see Cameron Boozer get a breather here. Little was going small. It's Nicholas Haminya, Isaiah Evans, Malik Brown, Dame Sarr, and Caden Boozer. And here is Mitchell getting it in for Jackson and now Hopkins. A handoff up top for Sellers out near midcourt. Into the arms of Ejiofor. Faces up on Malik Brown. Looking inside. Nothing doing. Poked out of his arms by Brown. Got it back. 4 to shoot. Now it's Jackson with 3, with 2. Weaving to the bucket. Bobbled it. Got it back to the right corner. Shot clock violation. They had no idea, and they turn it over for a third time.
Absolutely no idea. They're still dribbling around, and the clock's down to 2-1 over, and they didn't even look at the goal.
Blue Devils will inbound. That full court pressure continues. 8:27 to play in our first half. The Blues a chance to tie or go back in front. 23-21 is our score. Sarr looking to get it in. Waiting. Bounces it for Caden. An awkward spot in the left corner, but he dribbles out of it with Hopkins on him. Caden, quicker than him. Drives right by him. To the rack. Put it up. Oh, the layup wouldn't go. Hopkins had his pocket picked by Brown, though. Leave it to Sarr for a right-hand punch. Oh, he cranked the hammer, and we're tied at 23.
What a connection. Malik to Caden, and then the streaking Sarr to finish it.
8 minutes to play till halftime. Duke has scored the last 6. Ejiofor at the top of the key. Looking for a cutter, not there. To the left, it's Mitchell for 3. Rattled it home. Dylan Mitchell with his first 3 of the season. He had been 0 of 14 coming in. 26-23. St. John's has the advantage with 7:40 to play in the half. Kind of crazy things that happen in the NCAA tournament. Here's Evans up top. Haminya reaching from behind and a foul on Mitchell, and that'll be his first. And we've got a timeout. 7:33 to play till halftime. The Blue Devils trail at 26-23.
It's tournament time, Duke fans.
Deep 3. Give it to him.
Whether you're watching from Cameron or cheering from home, gear up for the postseason with the latest Blue Devils apparel from Duke University stores. Score official Nike gear and exclusive Duke merchandise you don't find anywhere else. Shop in store or anytime at shop.duke.edu. Duke University stores, your headquarters for Duke basketball.
Here's a club you'll want to get into, Club Citgo. It's the super easy app that opens the door to great fuel savings and more. Sign up and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up, plus everyday savings that really add up. You can also enter our sweepstakes with multiple winners and giveaways, like free gas for a year. And Club Citgo makes paying easy with a convenient mobile pay feature. So welcome to the club where all the action is. Download Club Citgo today. Savings could up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
Hey, I'm Coach John Shire with Duke men's basketball. For our team, preparation starts long before tip-off. Every practice, every play, and every recovery matters. If a player is injured, they need expert care fast. That's why we count on Duke Orthopedics for quick access to world-class care, and you can too. From Cameron Indoor to locations throughout the Triangle, they have experts to help keep you in the game. Don't let pain bench you. Duke Orthopedics is ready when you are.
Orthopedic appointments within 48 hours. Duke Health is ready when you are. Visit DukeHealth48.com to schedule an orthopedic appointment.
Quicker than him. Drives right by him. To the rack. Put it up. Oh, the layup wouldn't go. Hopkins had his pocket picked by Brown, though. Leave it to Sarr for a right-hand punch. Oh, he cranked the hammer, and we're tied at 23.
Big play by Dame Sarr after good defense from Caden Boozer. A little toss to Malik Brown, and then Sarr gets the finish at the rim. That tied it up, but then St. John's knocked down a 3 on their subsequent possession. So the Red Storm leading the Blue Devils 26-23 with 7:51 to go in the first half. Balanced scoring for the Blue Devils, but overall led by Isaiah Evans. 8 points on 4 out of 6 shooting, and none of those are three-pointers. 5 for Caden Boozer and 4 for Malik Brown, along with a team best 4 rebounds. That dunk by Sarr was his first field goal of the day, and Cam Boozer has scored once on a field goal as well. Blue Devils have shot 58% on 11 for 19, but just 1 out of 4 from 3. St. John's is 9 out of 18 for 50%. They made 5 threes, and their leader so far is Mitchell with 9 on 4 out of 5 shooting. And quick check of the rebounding. Duke up 10-8, David.
And Tonight's game between Duke and St. John's is presented by Duke Stores. It's tournament time, Duke fans. Whether you're watching from Cameron or cheering from home, gear up for the postseason with the latest Blue Devils apparel from Duke University Stores. Score official Nike gear and exclusive Duke merchandise you won't find anywhere else. Shop in store anytime at shop.duke.edu. Duke University Stores, your headquarters for Duke basketball. So the Blue Devils will have it out of the timeout. Trailing by 3. The difference in the ballgame right now, the three-point shooting of St. John's. They're plus 12 from outside, 5 of 11. They make about 7 per game, as John Raw told you, but it's been ticked up in the postseason. They made 11 against Kansas, but they normally take a ton to get there. The percentage is what's startling at 46%. You wonder if that's sustainable from a little perspective. You hope it isn't. Here's Brown off the inbound in front court. Out there with Dame Sarr, Caden Boozer, Nicholas Hamenya, who catches in front of Hopkins down low. Flipped it off the window. No, late whistle and a foul. And that's on Hopkins, and that is his second. I think they didn't want to ticket him, but once the shot was missed, they had to give the foul, and it gives us a chance to tell you the Blue Devil basketball is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. And the St. John's faithful, you can hear them in the background, don't love the call. I don't think they'd like it if it was a good call.
Not a popular call, but the shot fake really helped it.
That's how Menya's first free throw rattles home. And 66% on the year. Sample size is small. Now 32 of 48, and he'll have one more trying to cut it to 1.
The first free throw made by the Blue Devils today.
On the way on the second attempt, got them both. Had 6 points and a rebounds and playing 26 minutes against TCU. He'll sub out, and Cameron Boozer comes back in. So the Blue Devils have trailed by as many as 6, tied it moments ago, but then St. John's hit the 3. And now the Red Storm advantage is 1 as Ian Jackson sends it to the left. A handoff for Mitchell. Back to Jackson. The 3 wouldn't go this time. They fight for the rebound. Cameron Boozer has it. His first of the night. And now a chance to retake the lead. Here's Caden Boozer across midcourt. Up top to his brother Cameron. Looking inside for Brown. It's not there. Looks to the left for Evans. He's in a wrestling match with Sellers. Finally has the basketball. Drives. Flips it to Cameron Boozer on the left baseline. Spins on edge of 4. Looking for space. Whistle. Travel. They say he slid the pivot foot and turned it over. That's the 5th Blue Devil turnover. St. John's has turned it over 4 times.
At least so far, St. John's has only scored 3 points off of these Blue Devil 5 turnovers.
And here's Prey, a handoff for Mitchell. And now Sellers up top for the Red Storm. For edge of 4, top of the key. Looks to the right and gets it into the arms of Dylan Mitchell. In front of Dame Sarr. Waiting, sends it up top for edge of 4. And now to the left, it's Prey. 8 to shoot. Loose with the dribble, hands it off. Sellers, left side of the paint, looking for space. Tough 2 over Evans, wouldn't go. They fight for the rebound. Brown has it. By the way, Hopkins went to the bench with 7:30 in those 2 fouls as Caden Boozer goes into the paint all the way to the rack, off the left window and in. Caden Boozer is up to 7. And the Blue Devils have the lead again, 27-26 with 6:15 to play in the half. Here's Prey for St. John's, top of the key. Looking to the right, there's Mitchell. Catches, whips one to the baseline, and Sellers in front of Isaiah Evans. Now back outside for edge of 4. A handoff for Ian Jackson, probing at the right elbow, through a cross court, deflected, came to Mitchell. Bounces one to the baseline and edge of 4. 1-on-1 with Brown at the left block. Waits, spins, tough 2, left it short. The rebound tapped by Dame Sarr, went out of bounds and will stay with St. John's. By the way, back to Hopkins, you never say never, John Ross, but Rick Pitino, they have like one of the lowest percentages in the country of playing guys in the first half with 2 fouls. So Hopkins may be done here for the first half, and that's a big weapon for them on the outside. We told you how well he'd been shooting it from 3. Here's Mitchell to cue it in off the left baseline. Having a hard time, out of bounds. Last touch by edge of 4 as Brown got a deflection, or last touch by Brown, I should say, in front of edge of 4. So St. John's will have to do it again with 5:51 to play in the half. And into the ball game comes Dylan Darling for St. John's, and out goes Ian Jackson.
The Blue Devils showing their own version of pressuring the inbounds right now.
Mitchell waiting to get it in, having a hard time, does for Sellers. Steps through into the paint, blocked from behind by Brown. He got another one. Here's Caden Boozer across midcourt. 1-on-4, attacks anyway. Back outside for Evans. On the right, a 3. Got it. Isaiah Evans with 11. And the Duke lead grows to 4.
Once again, an excellent shot fake. Got both defenders in the air, gave him a clear lane to look at the basket.
30-26 with 5:27 to play in the half. 7 straight for John Shire's group. Edge of 4, a handoff and a foul on Caden Boozer, grabbing Darling. And that'll be his second. And with 5:22 to play in the half, he'll likely have to come out. We'll see if Caleb Foster comes in. And he's unwrapping all the paraphernalia, towels and stuff on his left leg, and now Caden will come out of the ball game. And immediately you see the impact of Caleb Foster. Yes, his play, John Roth, but it's another body when you're dealing with foul trouble.
And that's certainly a huge addition for the Blue Devils back to what they had during the regular season.
So here's Ejiofor for the Red Storm. Holding up top, hands it off, weaving to the left corner. It's Mitchell, a baseline drive on Cameron Boozer. Steps through, flipped it to the right corner, 7 to shoot. Ejiofor at the right block, one-on-one with Brown. Steps through, Brown fell down and he laid it in. Malik Brown just lost his balance, and St. John's is back within 2. 5 minutes to play till halftime. Duke up 30-28. Here's Caleb Foster in backcourt, greeted by Darling. Sends it ahead for Cameron Boozer. Just shy of midcourt. Got it across with a second to spare. Into the left corner. Sarr thought about it. Lobs it inside for Cameron. Left side of the paint. Backing things down. A little bully ball on Mitchell. Flipped it up. Counted it a foul. My goodness, just too strong. And a free throw coming as well.
Cam Boozer finally getting to the free throw line for the first time tonight for the and one opportunity.
The foul on Mitchell is his second as well. As to remind you that Blue Devil Basketball is brought to you in part by SiriusXM Satellite Radio. Listen to all things college sports, including live games and talk on SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84, and streaming on the SiriusXM app. And with 4:43 to play in the half, Mitchell will head out with his 2 fouls. And now, as you said, Cameron at the line for the first time in the ball game. 78.7% on the year. And the free throw is on the way. And good. So it's 33-28. Duke by 5 with 4:40 to play in the half. Darling off of the screen, set by Prey to the right. Sends one to the baseline. Ejiofor, one-on-one with Gongba. Faces up. Tries to step through underneath the rim. Tough angle. Flipped it out for a Sandin 3 in the corner. Off the bracket, no. Rebound into the arms of Caleb Foster. And here comes Cameron Boozer leading the break. 3-on-4. He'll drive anyway. Step through on Prey. Flip it up. 2 more free throws coming as Ruben Prey picks up his first.
And that drive was all Cam Boozer. Prey didn't know really what he was going to do to stop Cam, so he ended up fouling him, and Cam gets to the line.
Well, in those games in Greenville, he shot 19 free throws, made 18 of them. Found his way to the line. Felt his way really into both of those games, not dissimilar to what's going on here tonight. But he's turned the wick up offensively, and the first free throw here is good, and you blink, and he's got 6 points.
And Duke as a team in those 2 games, David, only missed 3 in each game. Ended up 38 for 44, 86% in those 2 wins.
And 1 more free throw. A chance to equal their largest lead of the ball game at 7 when it was 11-4. Right now it's 34-28, and Cameron Boozer towing the line with 4:20 to play in the half. The right-handed free throw shooter sends it on the way. Got them both. So from when it was 26-23, this is a 12-2 push, and the head coach of the Blue Devils is asking for his fans to rise to their feet, and they respond in kind across the way. Sandin on the right for St. John's, up top Ejiofor. Waits, looks inside, it's not there. Whistle and a foul off the ball. It's Isaiah Evans holding Osiah Sellers, and that'll be the first on Isaiah. There haven't been a ton of fouls on either side. 5 on Duke, 7 on St. John's with 4:05 to play in the half.
And there Isaiah just refusing to be picked off on a screen.
Here's Darling off the inbound. For Ejiofor, back for Darling in front of Dame Sarr. Tries to drive, cut off. Back pedals to the top of the key. Whips one to the right, Sandin. Little shoulder shake into the paint. Knocked loose by Dame Sarr, and Gungba came out of there with it. And here's Caleb Foster ahead for Cameron Boozer. One-on-one with Prey on the left sideline. Looks like he wants to drive him. Sizing it up. 12 feet out on the left. Flip it back outside for Foster. Evans around the perimeter it goes. He'll drop. Into the paint. Lefty scoop. No. Gungba got a hand on the rebound. Saved it to Sarr. Didn't catch the rim. Shot clock at 10. Foster now with 9 to shoot. 7 and 6. Spins, waits, goes up, and didn't get the roll. Gungba fighting for the rebound. They dive. Prey's out of bounds, but we got a foul on Gungba, I think. Diving to try to get it, and that'll be the second on Pats and chase us to a timeout. 3:26 to play till halftime. Duke in front, 35-28.
Your Harris Teeter grocery haul can earn you savings on gas with our fuel points. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 you spend when you shop with your Vic card on your favorite products, fresh produce, and organic brands. Track your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app and redeem your points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. The more you shop, the more points you earn. It's like getting gas money just for shopping like you normally do. Click to learn more. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
You're listening to Duke Basketball on the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield.
Think about the last time you moved. Remember how you said you'd never do it alone again? We know moving is tough, but at 2 Men and a Truck, we make it easy. No matter the move, big or small, we'll make it a smooth one. We're the movers who care and will prove it with our 96% referral rate and courteous background check movers. We're local and affordable. We can help at a price that won't make you wish you'd done it on your own. When you're ready, give us a call or find us online for a free estimate at 2menandatruck.com.
When you're on the move and looking for nonstop college sports action, get the Varsity Network app and take the game with you everywhere. Stream live play-by-play from schools across the country right from your phone, free. Catch hundreds of weekly podcasts, including shows from your favorite teams, all in one place. From football Saturdays to midweek hoops, it's your all-access pass to the college sports world. Whether it's game day or just your daily drive, the Varsity Network app has you covered. Download now and listen live for free on the Varsity Network app.
Left side of the paint. Backing things down. A little bully ball on Mitchell. Flipped it up. Counted it a foul. My goodness, just too strong. And a free throw coming as well. And Cameron Boozer now up to 7 points, a rebound, and an assist. The Blue Devils with 7 assists on their 14 makes from the field. St. John's 7 assists on their 10 makes. But the Red Storm started hot, 7 for 10, and they're now 3 of their last 14, and the Blue Devils have turned a 6-point deficit into a 7-point lead, 35-28 with 3:26 to play on our opening half. Gives us a chance to remind you the Blue Devil basketball is brought to you in part by Harris Teeter. Harris Teeter, where Blue Devil fans shop for groceries. David Shoemate alongside John Roth. John Rose, our producer and engineer, back inside our network studios is Trip Hurd. He's got a busy night ahead of him, keeping track of the scoreboard. Sweet 16 action. The early session last night was wild. Purdue wins essentially at the horn. Nebraska still looking for their 5th defender in the final minute. And they only had 4 out there when Iowa, the 9 seed, threw. Lopsided in the night session, though. Arizona, how impressive were they in blowing out Arkansas? And then Illinois might have been more impressive in beating Houston by 10.
Yeah, I was really expecting, as were probably millions of people, just a knockdown drag-out between Arizona and Arkansas. And Arizona, boy, are they playing well. Just took care of business from the outset on that contest.
So it'll be Illinois and Iowa tomorrow. Round of the South region, the winner to the Final Four, and, of course, Arizona and Purdue out west.
Big Ten commissioner ought to be pretty happy right now.
Yeah. The ACC commissioner's here because Duke's the only team in the ACC still playing. St. John's with it out of the timeout.
Came by and gave Nina King a high five during the pregame.
There you go. Sannon, send it over to the right, Dylan Darling. It's Saar, Brown, Evans, Foster, and Cameron Boozer out there defensively for John Shire's group. 8 on the timer. Sannon, a ball fake up top. Can't get by Brown. 6 and 5 on the timer. To the left, it's Darling for 3. Good. So as we said, 0 for 16 the last 3 games coming in, but he's got 2 here in the first half, and he brings the Red Storm back within 4. That is their 6th 3 of the first half.
He had the game-winning points the other night, and that was the only basket he made.
Here's Cameron Boozer across midcourt, greeted by Perret. Working with a right-hand dribble. Looks up top, bounces one for Brown. Edge of 4 on him. To the right, it's Caleb Foster. Looking inside, backpedals with 10 to shoot. Bounces one up top for Evans. Swings it on Sellers. Looks to the left, there's Dame Saar. 6 and 5 on the timer. Dame with a right-hand dribble. 3 to shoot. Drives Prey. Caught to the rack, flipped it up. No, Brown tapped it up. Foul, and he'll shoot 2. Right at the end of the shot clock. And Sannon is the guilty party. That's his 2nd.
And Brown in perfect position. If there was going to be a lob, he was ready for that. But what it turned out to be was an offensive rebound and took the foul.
Well, 2:24 to play in the half, and Brown shooting 2. Don't forget that all tournament long, Westwood One of the Varsity Network app bring you the action to Indianapolis, all the way to Indianapolis. For your team's call, streaming exclusively on the free Varsity Network app. Download today. Brown's first attempt is good. Malik's already got 5. As we see Caleb Foster and Dame Sarr head out. Haminya and Caden Boozer comes back in with those 2 fouls. Early returns, what do you think of what you've seen from Caleb so far in the first game back?
Yeah, it's great to have him back out there. I think, he doesn't look to be disabled at all from his injury. He seems to be back to form.
Second free throw for Malik. I think he thought he missed it because he was running to the rim, but it went. And the lead is 6, 37-31. Maybe just an aggressive offensive rebounder. Normally when I run like that after I shoot, I missed it. 2:18 to play in the half. As we see Leotopoulos up off the bench for St. John's. Darling just in front of us, staring at Caden Boozer. Half the shot clock is gone. Crashed into by Brown. Sends it to the left. Ejiofor going to try 3. He's open, and he hit it. Zuby Ejiofor, just his 17th 3 of the season. And St. John's hitting from outside to stay in contact. It's 37-34. Duke by 3 as we go under 2 minutes to play in the half. Haminya in backcourt having a hard time. Hit it ahead for Cameron Boozer. Now a numbers advantage. Into the paint he goes. Ejiofor blocking foul, and he'll shoot 2. Off bounds. And Zuby Ejiofor picks up his first. It's been 7 threes here in the first half for St. John's. That's their season average. It was still 22 minutes to play in the game. And it's not like one guy's gone off. Darling's got 2. Everybody else has no more than 1.
And from the Duke standpoint, one thing that's well under the St. John's season average, they usually get about 18 made free throws a game. Blue Devils have not put them on the line too much. They're only 3 out of 4, so well behind their usual free throw pace in this game.
Duke, one of the teams like Illinois, with the size they have, very rarely foul. Do a good job of contesting without fouling. It's Cameron Boozer's second free throw. Oh, lane violation. Ejiofor got in early, and he missed it, so we'll do it again. Ejiofor saying Brown pushed him in. The officials don't seem to be buying it. So 1 more free throw for Cameron Boozer, a chance at a reprieve after the miss.
Got to blame it on somebody, right?
Yeah. Get a chance to build the lead back to 5. Cameron steadies himself. On the way. And good. So he's up to 9. Evans, the leading scorer, he's got 11. And Malik Brown will head out. Dame Sarr will return. Let's set the 5 on the floor. It's Sarr, Evans, Boozer, Cameron and Caden, and Nicholas Haminya. 3-quarter court pressure for the Blue Devils, 1-2-2. St. John's gets it in the front court. And here comes that 3-2 zone we've seen at different times this year. Darling on the right. Sends one up top for Prey. Holds it high, bounces it to the free throw line, and Ejiofor looking to get back to Prey, could not. Drives Cameron Boozer, couldn't shoot. Back outside for a 3 that is no good, and the rebound fought for. St. John's touched it last on the way out of bounds as lefty Leotopoulos launched up top. Just 32.7% missed for St. John's, but don't take anything for granted in this game. They've taken 16 threes and made 7 of them. The Blue Devils in possession, up by 5. Here's Caden Boozer with 1:27 to play in the half. Brings it across. Darling trying to poke it free, cannot. Caden picked it up, waits, looks, bounces one to his brother Cameron. Ejiofor really aggressive defending out near midcourt. Waits, now on a switch. Leotopoulos had it for a moment, then Ejiofor switched back on him. Cameron in possession the whole time. Backing things down to the left, it's Haminya for 3. A rainbow that's short. The rebound, Caden Boozer tapping it, couldn't control it. So St. John's has it back as we hit a minute to play in the first half. Duke by 5, 39-34. It's Darling up top for Ejiofor. Looking to the left, it's not there. Whips it to the right corner. Prey going to try 3. Got it again. My goodness. St. John's can't miss from outside. And the head coach of the Blue Devils calls for time. 50.2 to play here in the first half. It's the 8th three-pointer for St. John's, and it brings them back within 2, 39-37. Of course, there are 4 Sweet 16 games here tonight. And for more on that, let's send it to the studio and say hello to Trip Hurd.
Thanks, David. And they are underway now in Chicago at the United Center. Top-seeded Michigan taking on the 4-seed Alabama. The Crimson Tide have jumped out to an 11-4 lead over the Wolverines. Still 15-38 left to play in that Midwest region Sweet 16 matchup before the halftime break in Chicago. Coming up at 9:45 following our game, the 2-seed UConn taking on the 3rd-seeded Michigan State Spartans. And the nightcap tonight coming from Chicago in the Midwest region matchup with the 2nd seed Iowa State Cyclones taking on Tennessee. That one should tip just after 10 o'clock tonight from the United Center. Now we'll head it back to you. Here's David Shumate.
Correct.
All right, Tripp, thank you. 50.9 seconds to 50.2, I should say, seconds to play here in our first half. The Blue Devils with the 2-point lead, 39-37. We'll be sure to catch Duke All Access with head coach John Shire. Comes your way Sundays at noon on ABC 11. And don't forget the ABC 11 mobile app is your ticket to Duke basketball highlights and the latest from the First Alert forecast. Just tap the app and make your own from ABC 11 Eyewitness News. It has been a game that the Blue Devils have dominated in the paint, plus 12 there, 22-10. But St. John's has dominated from the perimeter. They're plus 18 from outside. They've made 8 threes, the Blue Devils 2. Duke dominating on the board, 17-11. Have made 9 free throws to just 3 for St. John's. The Red Storm have only made 5 2-point shots in the ballgame.
And they've gotten their 8 threes from 6 different players, so most of the positions out there have been viable 3-point shooting spots so far in this contest, and not all guys that have done it all year. As you mentioned before, the first mate of the year for Mitchell, and Prey, who just hit one a moment ago, he's only attempted 20 all year, knocked in 1 this time.
And it's an unusual offense to defend, not dissimilar to what the Blue Devils can do with Cameron Boozer, the point forward. Ejiofor, a lot of the times up top, is cueing the offense. Obviously, he's an incredible scorer in his own right. He's got 7 points here in the first half, but he's also got 4 assists. He's their leading assist man in the ball game and on the season. He had 125 coming in. And he has been a big weapon sharing the basketball for Rick Pitino's team that now has 10 assists in this first half. The Blue Devils with 7. Caden Boozer has 2, and Dame Sarr has 2. Now with 50.8, they put a little bit of time back on the clock. They added 6/10. Somewhat relevant because if you're John Shire, one of the reasons I think you called that timeout, a potential opportunity for a 2-for-1 here. Try to get a shot up in the first 10 to 15 seconds of the shot clock and maybe have another opportunity.
When the timeout was called, 50.8, the game clock will be adjusted.
That was our lead official, Ron Groover. You heard in the background making the announcement here at Capital One Arena. So it'll be Cameron Boozer, Caden Boozer, Isaiah Evans, Dame Sarr, Malik Brown out there. Full court pressure for St. John's as they've been doing all night long. The Blue Devils getting it in for Caden. Along the baseline, Leotopoulos reached in. Didn't get the foul called, though. And now here comes Caden across the midcourt. 45 seconds to play in the half, leading by 2. It's Cameron. Got a step to the baseline, flipped it up, got it blocked out of bounds. They say Prey got it cleanly. And the Blue Devils have to inbound along the right baseline with 40.7 to play in the half, leading by 2.
Cam was looking for Malik Brown coming down the left side of the lane, but St. John's had too many defenders with arms in the way.
Blue Devils have the lead, but they don't have a field goal in nearly 4 minutes. Here's Caden to get it in. Does for Evans on the right sideline. He'll take the 3, and too strong. The rebound for Ejiofor in St. John's. 7 seconds, the differential shot clock to game clock. So you get a stop, you'll have another opportunity if you can pull a rebound. And now everybody comes to their feet here in Washington, D.C. Sellers for the Red Storm, a handoff for Ejiofor. Dribbles to the right, now back to the left. Off of the screen, leave it for Jackson. 9 to shoot. 16 seconds to play in the half. Jackson, double team, send it to the left. Prey, another 3. Got it again. His 3rd of the first half. He had 11 all season coming in. St. John's by 1. 6 seconds to play in the half. It's Caden Boozer. 3 seconds now. Into the paint. Waits, put it up, and didn't get the roll, and that'll take us to halftime with the Red Storm leading by 1. Due in no small part to the fact that they are 9 of 18 from 3, John Roth.
No question. As we've said, they average about 7 a game. They've made 9 in the first half alone, and their percentage is much better than they normally do, 50% compared to their usual 33. So a big day beyond the arc for the Red Storm in this first half.
Isaiah Evans had 11. Cameron Boozer had 9. The leading rebounder was Malik Brown with 5. We told you about the leading assist guys. Caden Boozer and Dame Sarr each with 2. Glass half full, glass half empty. St. John's couldn't miss from 3, and you're only down by 1 at halftime. We'll see how the second 20 minutes shake out here in D.C. Duke trails it 40-39 at the break. When we come back, we're going to send you back to our network studios. Trip Hurd will check the scoreboard, give you all the highlights from the first half, and then John will be back with a look at the first half stats. At the break, the Blue Devils trail it by 1, 40-39 here in D.C.
Spring brings brighter days and more time to show off your Cole styles. School drop-off, a chance for your outfit to shine in the morning rays. The sun filtering through your windows, practically a personal spotlight, and family walks, all perfectly timed for golden hour. Shop Kohl's for 15% off and make the most of more daylight. Your outfits deserve it. Select styles. Offer ends April 4th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Greetings from Breeze Airways, your hometown airline flying from Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Fly nonstop from Raleigh to Pensacola and 40 other postcard-worthy cities. This year goes somewhere worth writing home about. Breeze makes it easy with nonstop flights, flexible change policies, and a seriously nice onboard experience. Enjoy premium seating with Breeze Ascent, plus high-speed Wi-Fi and tasty snacks. Book today at flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways in partnership with Pensacola International Airport.
This is Blue Devil Basketball from Learfield.
Whether you're in the market for a new boat or just need service or accessories for an existing boat, turn to Overbee Marine. Now with 2 locations in Kittrell and Lake Gaston, Overbee Marine offers the highest quality of marine products and services, including the latest from Sea Ray, Centurion, Avalon, Bennington, as well as Cobalt boats. Overbee Marine also offers the largest selection of parts in the region, along with full-service facilities at their 2 locations. Stop by or give them a call at 252-586-3593 or online at overbeemarine.com. Overbee Marine. Don't let adventure pass you by.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
On the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield, welcome to the Blue Devil Halftime Report. Coming up, we'll break down the game's first 20 minutes, update scores from the ACC in the top 25, and preview the second half. The Blue Devil Halftime Report starts now.
Trip Herd with you back inside the Learfield Network studios. Duke trails by 1 at the halftime break in Washington, D.C. St. John's on top 40-39 after 20 minutes. Before we jump into the first half recap, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is Blue Devil Basketball from Learfield. Duke and St. John's from Capital One Arena. The Red Storm with a 40-39 lead after 20 minutes. Let's run through some of the big plays from that first half. Malik Brown back into the starting lineup tonight, and as always, causing trouble for the other team on the defensive end. And this time, he gets the bucket as well.
Waits, dribbles to the left, picked up his dribble, fed it to the right, and Sander. The baseline pass, stolen by Brown. Cut in front of Ejiofor. Now here's Dame Sarr left to right. Leave it for Evans for 3. Short. Brown, the offensive rebound, put it up and in. Malik has his first field goal. The lead grows to 4.
Another guy stepping into a starting role for the Blue Devils over the last couple of weeks, Caden Boozer, and here he is with the early 3.
Looking inside, looks to the right, dribbles that way. Nothing doing, fed it to Caden Boozer. Now inside it goes for Cameron. One-on-one with Hopkins. 10 to shoot, back for Caden for 3. Count it. Caden Boozer off to a hot start, and all of a sudden the lead is 7.
11-4, Duke on top after almost 5 minutes.
Caden Boozer finished the first half with 7 points. Duke had that 7-point lead early on, but St. John's comes right back and able to grab a 6-point lead of their own, but Isaiah Evans keeping Duke close.
And now Dame Sarr, a chance to run. Weaving to the left, it's Evans. Little ball fake, he'll drive, got a step. Oh! Rises up and throws it down with 2 hands. He's got 8, and they're back within 2.
Blue Devils finishing in their red zone offense with a dunk.
Isaiah with the dunk there. The Blue Devils were having a tough go of it on offense there for a stretch, so they were getting some tough defense on the other end.
Into the arms of Ejiofor. Faces up on Malik Brown. Looking inside. Nothing doing. Poked out of his arms by Brown. Got it back. 4 to shoot. Now it's Jackson with 3, with 2. Weaving to the bucket. Bobbled it. Got it back to the right corner. Shot clock violation. They had no idea, and they turn it over for a third time.
Good defense there by the Blue Devils. You heard just to play back Isaiah Evans attacking the rim. Dame Sarr doing the same here.
Caden, quicker than him. Drives right by him. To the rack, put it up. Oh, the layup wouldn't go. Hopkins had his pocket picked by Brown, though. Leave it to Sarr for a right-hand punch. Oh, he cranked the hammer, and we're tied at 23.
Dame Sarr, that was his only bucket of the first half. He did grab 3 rebounds and a couple of assists. Duke finally able to pull back even with St. John's. And Malik Brown again on defense, creating an easy one for Duke on the other end.
Steps through into the paint, blocked from behind by Brown. He got another one. Here's Caden Boozer across midcourt. 1-on-4, attacks anyway. Back outside for Evans. On the right of 3. Got it. Isaiah Evans with 11. And the Duke lead grows to 4.
Isaiah Evans with 11. Malik Brown with 6 points in the first half. And we haven't mentioned Cameron Boozer yet. A quiet first 15 minutes or so when he was able to make his presence felt coming down the stretch of the first half.
Lobs it inside for Cameron. Left side of the paint. Backing things down. A little bully ball on Mitchell. Flipped it up. Counted it a foul. My goodness, just too strong. And a free throw coming as well.
Cameron Boozer with 9 points in the first half for the Blue Devils, who trailed by 1 at St. John's 40, Duke 39 after 20 minutes in Washington, D.C. We'll go ahead and take a break, come back, and get you caught up on the scoreboard and set everything up for you here on Friday in the Sweet 16. We'll be back right after this.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $200 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.49 to 4.37. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This is Duke basketball from Learfield.
It's bow time.
Carolina legends aren't born. They're handmade, only in Bo's Real Southern Kitchen. It all starts with fresh, never frozen chicken marinated for 24 hours in a flavor-packed blend of bold Southern seasonings. Then we hand bread and fry it to crispy, juicy, mouth-watering perfection. That's not just any chicken, that's the Carolina legend. Order some Bojangles and taste what everyone's been craving since 1977.
It's bow time.
Shh, here she comes.
Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop! Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations! Also, there's a beehive outside your store! And they're super aggressive! There's thousands of them!
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise? Saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired! Gross!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by Duke University. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of Duke University and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by Duke University.
Trip Hurd with you back inside the Learfield Network studios. Duke trails by 1 at the halftime break. It's 40-39 with St. John's on top in Washington, D.C. The second game here on Friday from the Midwest region. Michigan, the top seed, taking on the 4 seed Alabama. And right now, the Crimson Tide out to an 18-17 early lead on Michigan. 10:40 left to play in the first half in Chicago. And coming up at 9:45 tonight, following our game, the 2 seed UConn taking on the 3 seed Michigan State Spartans. That one will tip about 30 minutes or so after Duke and St. John's wraps up tonight. And then Tennessee and Iowa State in the final game from Chicago tonight should tip off just a little after 10 o'clock. The Vols looking for a third straight trip to the Elite Eight. The Cyclones have their star player Joshua Jefferson listed as questionable, so he missed their last outing for Iowa State. They certainly hope to have him back in the lineup tonight against Tennessee. Last night, quick recap of some of the action. The top seed in the West, the Arizona Wildcats, able to take care of business and punch their ticket. They were rolling last night against Arkansas.
Awaka handed off to Del Orso, back to Awaka down the right side of the lane, lays it up, in and one. And Awaka will go to the line. He is the 6th Wildcat in double figures in this game, and Arizona back up 18.
Ryan Rackey on the call from Westwood 1 there. Another team able to punch their ticket last night. Purdue, the 2 seed in the West, in a game with the 11 seed Texas that went right down to the wire.
11 seconds to go, clock ticking. Here comes Braden Smith over the timeline, left to right. Fakes a screen from Kaufman-Renn. Coming downhill, Braden Smith shooting at Banker, no good. Tipping at it, Trey Kaufman-Renn! He tipped it into the basket with .7 to play. .7 to play. Three-quarter court shot for Texas is no good. And the Purdue Boilermakers are headed to the Elite Eight.
Rob Blackman on the call there from Learfield as Arizona moves on, and the first 2 seed to go home this season, Houston, the Cougars, got picked off last night by Illinois.
Here comes Wagler up the left side. Heat left into the paint. Out top to Ben for 3. Got it! Ben Humrickhouse with another 3. Timeout, Houston.
And next up for Illinois, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa defeats Nebraska 77-71.
90 seconds. Sturts dribbling in the center circle. Standing straight up, defended by Prager. Here he is attacking into the paint. Folgadas into the corner. Sager at 3. He buries it. 6-point Hawkeyes lead. 70 seconds.
Same spot that he beat Florida with, Spiro.
So Iowa and Illinois set to tip off at 6:09 tomorrow night from Houston, Texas. And then the nightcap on Saturday, 8:49 tip for the top seed Arizona facing the 2 seed Purdue in San Jose, California. That's it for the scoreboard. We'll come back with some first half stats. You're listening to Duke Basketball from Learfield.
At Reed's Jewelers, we know that the rules of engagement were made to be broken. So don't settle for the first ring you see in the case. When you put a ring on it, make the moment your own with something that's just as unique as your love. Whether you're going big, keeping it subtle, or finding a happy medium, we're here to help you say I do with a one-of-a-kind design. Because doing things your way is what makes them mean everything. Reed's Jewelers, an official partner of Blue Devil Sports. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers in-store or online at reeds.com to chat with an expert.
Down many ways, streets, and lanes all across America, you'll find Valero at your go-to gas station, volunteering with local charities, fueling communities 365 days a year, and generally being a good neighbor. So whether you're in Texas, Louisiana, or Tennessee, or right here in Durham, you can always depend on us getting you where you need to be, in life or on the road, right now.
This is the Blue Devil Sports Network from Learfield.
Duke fans don't just watch the game, they live it. Sitting in traffic on the way to the game might sound boring. The pregame rituals, post-win celebrations, and everything in between is nothing but brilliant. That's why PNC is proud to be a sponsor of Duke Athletics and support their devoted fans. Because keeping your finances boring allows you to make exciting memories full of all the things that make game day feel like game day. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. Member FDIC.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids facing unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Join us in the movement to get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org to learn more. Team Impact. All in, all together.
Back at Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C., Duke trails St. John's 40-39 at halftime of this East Regional semifinal contest. Let's check out some of the numbers for the Blue Devils. Isaiah Evans led the scoring in the first half. Only player in the game with double figures, has 11 points. Hit 5 out of 9 from the floor with just 1 3-pointer and 4 drives in there. So 11 for Isaiah, 9 for Cameron Boozer. Got quite a bit of those at the free throw line where he was 5 for 5. 7 for Caden Boozer, 6 for Malik Brown, and then 2 apiece for Dame Sar, Hamenya, and Gongba. The total of 39 on an even 50% shooting, 14 out of 28. Only 2 threes in that first half, 2 out of 7 for the Blue Devils. On the other side, St. John's led by 9 points apiece from Mitchell and Prey. And most of those came on 3-pointers as this St. John's team hit 14 field goals in the first half, 9 of them from beyond 3-point range, 9 out of 18 from the arc overall for St. John's in that first half. And they had 11 assists on their 14 made field goals. The Blue Devils did out-rebound St. John's 17-13, and they outscored them in the paint 22-10. So far this year, Duke is 6-0 when they trail at the half. St. John's is 24-5 when they're ahead at the half. So they have lost 5 times this year when they've had the halftime lead. And they've got a 1-point halftime lead right now. We'll have the second half for you when we continue in just a moment. You're listening to Duke Basketball from Learfield.
For comprehensive coverage of college basketball, tune to Sirius XM College Sports Radio Channel 84 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
For the win! Got it! Let's go!
Sirius XM is the home of your favorite team and conference, including live games, plus interviews and analysis.
He's got it!
So cheer along with the Sirius XM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
You got next. The next open road. The next uncharted trail. With Ford Bronco and Ford Bronco Sport, you've got the next great SUV. Equipped with a blend of off-road performance, on-road precision, and plenty of power to conquer the next adventure. For the latest offers on the new Bronco or Bronco Sport, you got next. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
For the latest in news, notes, and special content, head to GoDuke.com. This is the Blue Devils Sports Network from Learfield.
Think about the last time you moved. Remember how you said you'd never do it alone again? We know moving is tough, but at Two Men and a Truck, we make it easy. No matter the move, big or small, we'll make it a smooth one. We're the movers who care and will prove it with our 96% referral rate and courteous background check movers. We're local and affordable. We can help at a price that won't make you wish you'd done it on your own. When you're ready, give us a call or find us online for a free estimate at twomenandatruck.com.
When you're on the move and looking for nonstop college sports action, get the Varsity Network app and take the game with you everywhere. Stream live play-by-play from schools across the country right from your phone, free. Catch hundreds of weekly podcasts, including shows from your favorite teams, all in one place. From football Saturdays to midweek hoops, it's your all-access pass to the college sports world. Whether it's game day or just your daily drive, the Varsity Network app has you covered. Download now and listen live for free on the Varsity Network app.
Off we go to the second half here in D.C. The Blue Devils trail it by 1, 40-39. They led on a couple of different occasions by 7 in that first half. St. John's led by as many as 6, but the three-point shooting of the Red Storm, as John Roth was telling you, the difference, 9 of 18 from 3. They've made 10 or more this year 18 times, including a season-high 15 against Georgetown. And they got 9 before intermission. Meanwhile, the Blue Devils dominating things inside and hopefully trying to speak this into existence. St. John's, 2 of those 8 games, they made double-digit threes. We're in this NCAA tournament. They made 10 against Northern Iowa, 11 against Kansas. Against Northern Iowa, they shot 34.5%. Against Kansas, they shot 31.4% from 3. Right now, they're 50% from 3. The Blue Devils are 50% from the field overall, so the ultimate glass half full, glass half empty. When you look at the box score at halftime, and the Blue Devils will have it to begin the second half, trailing 40-39. David Schmidt alongside John Roth. John Rose, our producer and engineer. And back inside our network studios is Trip Hurd. We're going to watch John Shire's group go right to left as we see things across in the team benches here at the sold-out Capital One Arena. More than 20,000 on hand for what is the marquee regional here this weekend, the East Regional. And for St. John's, looks to be the starters back out there as well. Darling, Sellers, Hopkins, Ejiofor, Mitchell, of course, for Duke. That is Isaiah Evans, Dame Sarr, Cameron Boozer, Malik Brown, and Caden Boozer. Ron Groover, our lead official, will put it in play. The winner gets either Michigan State or Connecticut, the second game tonight in the East Regional semifinals, so to speak. And hopefully Duke will meet either Michigan State or Connecticut. Dame Sarr has it in front of his own bench. Lob it to the baseline. There's Cameron Boozer. Back in it down on Hopkins. Into the paint. Spins through a double team. Flipped it up and in. So that ends the field goal drought that was stretching towards 5 minutes and sends him into double figures. And most importantly, gives Duke the lead again. 41-40 with 19:34 to go. Darling. Over to the left, Mitchell, and now Hopkins again in front of Isaiah Evans. Bounces one up top for Ejiofor. Looking to the right, a handoff for Darling. Crossing over, backpedaling towards midcourt. Brown nearly knocked it loose, but picked up a foul as Darling lost to Boots. That's the first on Malik, and the first on either team here in the second half.
David, one thing I've just noticed over at the Duke bench, Caleb Foster did not come out with the team to start the second half.
So
have to monitor that situation.
Keep an eye on the tunnel. Jose Fonseca's not on that bench either. Something to keep an eye on. As Darling gets it in. Works his way to the left sideline. Curling around the defense. Pivots. Sends it back up top for Hopkins. 10 to shoot. Looking inside. Swings it. Drives Evans. Got through. Put it off the window. Missed the bunny though. They fight for the rebound. St. John's has it. Ejiofor back up. That was blocked on the way through. And Brown has it now. Ejiofor to the deck. The Blue Devils 5-on-4 in transition. Caden Boozer to the rack. Send it back outside for an Evans 3. Count it. What a find from Caden Boozer. And from the left wing, Slim stretches the lead back to 4. 44-40, 18:47 to go. Mitchell, whistle, foul off the ball on Brown, battling with Ejiofor, and that'll be his second. And the second already here in the second half on Malik.
Number 6, Malik Brown, that's his second personal.
And it'll be Hopkins to inbound on the right baseline, left side of the hoop. Waiting, lobs it up for Mitchell, top of the key. Looking inside, nothing doing. Looking to the left, into the corner. Sellers going to try 3. Rattled out. And an offensive rebound for Ejiofor. Back up, blocked by Cameron Boozer. Get that out of there. And here comes Caden across midcourt, leading by 4. Waiting to the top of the key off of a screen set by Brown. Probing, left side of the paint. Step through, flipped it up. Some contact, no whistle. And Ejiofor out of there with the basketball. So here comes St. John's trailing by 4, 44-40, 18:15 to go. And a drive by Hopkins and a foul on Duke. And it'll be on Cameron Boozer, and that's his second, or his first, I should say. Quickly, 3 team fouls, not even 2 minutes into the second half.
Cam just trying to stop a drive there and got his hand caught.
Mitchell will be the inbounder for St. John's on the right baseline. Waiting, still waiting. Having a hard time. Finally found Sellers. 12-footer off the left baseline is good. Isaiah Sellers with his first points. Going to bring St. John's back within 2, 44-42 with 18:06 to go. And now here's Caden in backcourt. Racing across midcourt, greeted by Darling. Drifts to the right. And now back up top, Cameron Boozer in front of Dylan Mitchell. Bounces one to the right. Ejiofor cut in front. Took it away from Brown. A race to the other end, and he'll dunk it down. So Ejiofor, the theft in the bucket. He's up to 9. And we're tied at 44, 17:43 to go. Worth noting Caleb Foster back on the Duke bench and looks to be okay. Here's Caden Boozer. Lob it back up top for Brown. Crossing over, send it to the right. Evans thought about another three. He will launch and didn't get the roll. They fight for the rebound. It came to Brown, missed the layup. Boozer, a tap foul, no. Still loose, and Hopkins has it for the Red Storm. 17:20 to go, tied at 44. In transition, counted in a foul as Mitchell got inside. We'll see who gets ticketed. It looks to be Caden Boozer, and Mitchell headed to the line trying to complete a three-point play.
St. John's,
that's his third.
Yeah, they are just so fast getting the ball back down the floor on the change of possession and put a lot of pressure on your defense to get back.
And that foul discrepancy. Duke was called for 6 in the first half. St. John's for 9. Well, that's been wiped away in a quick hurry. Not even 3 minutes into the second half. Already 4 on John Shire's group as Mitchell short on the free throw, so the lead is 2. 46-44 for St. John's with 17:15 to go. Here's Caden Boozer across midcourt. Man, Darling reached in, knocked it loose cleanly. And it's Ejiofor again with a punch. And the head coach of the Blue Devils might be looking for a timeout. He will. We'll take it as well. 17:06 to go. The Red Storm have taken the advantage. They lead at 48-44.
Spring brings brighter days and more time to show off your Cole styles. School drop-off, a chance for your outfit to shine in the morning rays. The sun filtering through your windows, practically a personal spotlight. And family walks, all perfectly timed for golden hour. Shop Kohl's for 15% off and make the most of more daylight. Your outfits deserve it. Select styles. Offer ends April 4th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Here's a club you'll want to get into, Club Citgo. It's the super easy app that opens the door to great fuel savings and more. Sign up and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up, plus everyday savings that really add up. You can also enter our sweepstakes with multiple winners and giveaways, like free gas for a year. And Club Citgo makes paying easy with a convenient mobile pay feature. So welcome to the club where all the action is. Download Club Citgo today. Savings good up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
Your Harris Teeter grocery haul can earn you savings on gas with our fuel points. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 you spend when you shop with your Vic card on your favorite products, fresh produce, and organic brands. Track your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app and redeem your points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. The more you shop, the more points you earn. It's like getting gas money just for shopping like you normally do. Click to learn more. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Coverage of Duke basketball in the NCAA tournament is presented by Duke Stores, your headquarters for Duke basketball.
And the Blue Devils started the second half with 5 straight points to build a 4-point lead. But St. John's has answered in a hurry, 8 unanswered, and with 17:06 to go, the Blue Devils find themselves trailing by 4, 48-44. The Red Storm hitting each of their last 4 shots to the field. Unfortunately, John Roth, a couple of those were uncontested dunks off of turnovers. Those are the things you can't have happen against St. John's.
Yeah, the live ball turnovers, St. John's turns those things into points all the time. So that they've gotten right here just early in the second half 6 additional fast break points, and 4 of their 8 points in that 8-0 run have been off a Duke turnover, so not the kind of thing you want to see to start the half. Certainly what prompted John Shire to take the timeout. One thing that has been a win for Duke so far in this game has been what they've been able to limit St. John's to on the offensive glass, in that they are a really good offensive rebounding team, and so far in this game they have not yet scored any points on second chance opportunities from offensive rebounds. So the Blue Devils certainly want to keep that going as they continue to try to cut down on the three-point shots made. Right now, kind of focusing on just getting the ball into play in the half court and executing.
Yeah, they were tied for 30th nationally with 13 offensive rebounds. I'm talking about St. John's. The Blue Devils, 12.5 offensive rebounds per game. But the Blue Devils, one of the best rebounding teams in the country, plus 11 per game, 5th nationally. And they are winning the battle on the boards 21-18. But St. John's, after only having 5 twos in the first half, has 4 in the first 3 minutes of the second half. And as you'd imagine, the Red Storm faithful making some noise. Here comes Caden Boozer across midcourt. Trailing by 4. Bounces one up top to his brother Cameron. To the legs. Dives to save it. In backcourt. Cannot. Mitchell took it away. Gongba poked it away from behind, but it came to Ejiofor, who laid it in. Another turnover, another bucket, and St. John's has equaled their biggest lead at 6. 50-44 with 16:42 to go. Sarr nearly lost it at midcourt. Poked out of bounds by Ejiofor. The Blue Devils only had 5 turnovers at halftime. They've got 3 already here in a little more than 3 minutes in the second half.
And St. John's only had a handful of points off turnovers in that first half, and they've got 9 now.
And a 10-0 run for St. John's as Caden Boozer will come out and Caleb Foster comes back in, shouting out instructions. As the officials are talking to Rick Pitino about something. And it's Dame Sarr to inbound right at midcourt, directly across from us along the right sideline. Gets it in for Caleb Foster in backcourt. Caleb brings it across, greeted by Darling. Works his way to the left, now back to the middle. Bounces one for Cameron Boozer. Prey all over him, looks to the right, Gongba in a wrestling match with Ejiofor. He's got his arm in his chest, no whistle. Here's a handoff for Isaiah Evans. Probing, whistle, reach-in foul call. And that's on Ejiofor. And that'll be his second. I can understand his frustration, John Ross, because what he did to Gongba was way worse than what he did to Evans.
Absolutely.
First foul on St. John's here in the second half. And Hopkins will come out as Dylan Mitchell returns. So Dame Sarr on the right sideline, trailing by 6, 50-44. The Blue Devils haven't scored about 2.5 minutes as they get it in for Gongba, top of the key. Looking to the right. Puts it on the deck. Needs some help. A handoff for Isaiah Evans. Off of a screen, top of the key. Dancing with Ejiofor. Drives into the paint. Fell down. Whistle and a foul. Darling jumping mad. And the basketball got thrown out to our lead official, Ron Groover, who looks to be okay. Kind of whipped by his leg, and Darling picks up his second.
I'm not sure if Darling was frustrated that he committed a foul or didn't think he committed a foul, but he was certainly very animated after that whistle blew.
Cameron Boozer to inbound, waiting, bounces it for Patrick Gongba, top of the key. A bounce pass to the left, there's Dame Sarr. Whip it inside, Boozer couldn't catch it. Cutting in front, Prey knocked it out of bounds. Very active are the Red Storm here in the first 4 minutes of the second half. They've outscored Duke 10-5 since halftime.
Long reach by Prey, too, to get his hand on that pass.
As Ian Jackson comes back in and Dylan Darling will head out. Evans to cue it in, left baseline, left side of the hoop. Isaiah ready? Here we go. Looking for the lob. Up top, it comes to Cameron Boozer, top of the key. He'll drive Prey. Got inside. To the right baseline. On a double team. Flipped it to the left. Foster. Little ball fake. He'll drive Mitchell. Got into the paint. Back up top. Sarr will launch. And it's too strong on a three. Cameron Boozer got a hand on the rebound, but it came to Ejiofor. They got a good look. Just couldn't hit it. And this 10-0 run for St. John's continues as they go to work offensively, leading by 6. Jackson on the right baseline. Cut off. Send it back up top for Ejiofor. Weaving, looking inside, nothing doing. Send it to the right corner. Prey again. It's been his night. His 4th three-pointer. Again, he had 11 all year coming in, and that's the 10th for the Red Storm, and they've got their biggest lead at 9, 53-44 with 15:35 to go. Duke needs an answer. Cameron Boozer can provide one. In on Ejiofor, blocked from behind by Prey. It came to Gongba. Triple team, goes up, draws a foul. And that's the 3rd on Zuby Ejiofor. Oh, excuse me. They gave it to Jackson. Man, it looked like Ejiofor was the guilty party. Either way, it's going to chase us to a timeout. 15:26 to play in the ball game. The Blue Devils trail it by 9, 53-44.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
The Brotherhood plays here. This is Blue Devil basketball from Learfield.
Whether you're in the market for a new boat or just need service or accessories for an existing boat, turn to Overby Marine. Now with 2 locations in Kittrell and Lake Gaston, Overby Marine offers the highest quality of marine products and services, including the latest from Sea Ray, Centurion, Avalon, Bennington, as well as Cobalt boats. Overby Marine also offers the largest selection of parts in the region, along with full-service facilities at their 2 locations. Stop by or give them a call at 252-586-3593 or online at overbymarine.com. Overby Marine. Don't let adventure pass you by.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
15:26 to play in the ballgame. The Blue Devils trailing by 9, 53-44. And Blue Devil basketball is brought to you in part by the Washington Duke Inn and Golf Club, honoring tradition over trend for over 30 years. Well, it'll be free throws coming out of the timeout as the Blue Devils head to the line for the first time here in the second half. They were 9 of 11 at the charity stripe in the first half. Just the 10th time this season that someone has gone on a 10-plus point run against Duke. This is 13-0 for St. John's after the Blue Devils had 5 straight to start the second half. Hit a momentum 3 off of the find from Caden Boozer. Got it out to Isaiah Evans, John Roth, but that was early. And now you're looking up. It's been 3.5 minutes without a point. And during that same span, 3 turnovers have allowed St. John's to make each of their last 6 shots from the field.
Yeah, well, they've gone 6 for 6. The Blue Devils have gone 0 for 5, and 3 of those 6 have been off of turnovers by the Blue Devils. So settling down and getting the ball back into that half court where they can execute is a huge thing for this team. They can execute offensively against any defense in the country at any time, but so far it's been difficult to get in that situation. I think John Shire was semi-pleased the last time down just to get a whole offensive possession where they could move the ball around and get a good look, even though they didn't make the shot.
Gungba to shoot 2. Missed his first 2 in this first half, but he's a good free throw shooter at 69%, but short on this one here. Don't forget the Food Line is the presenting sponsor of the Score to Get More campaign. Proud to announce that a total of 30,000 meals have been donated this season to our local neighbors in need for free throws made by the Blue Devils during the regular season. Over 8 million meals and counting have been donated by Food Line Feeds through the Score to Get More campaign to local college pantries and food banks. 1 out of 2 for Pat as he makes the second. That ends the 13-0 run. But the deficit is 8, 53-45 as we approach 15 minutes to play. The Blue Devils settle back in a 3-2 zone defensively. Jackson for St. John's, top of the key, thinking about it. Left it to Ejiofor. Looking to the left, into the arms of Sellers, and now Prey has it up top. He looks to Jackson, who has it now, off of the screen. Jackson probing, wants to drive, pulls up from 17 and hits. St. John's has not been a good shooting team all season, but they're hitting shots tonight, and for the first time, they've got a double-digit lead, 55-45, 5 minutes into the second half. They're 51% from the field and 10 out of 20 from 3.
And they're 58% this half.
Here's Foster, a handoff for Evans on the right sideline. Up top, Cameron Boozer. He'll drive on Prey, into the paint, spins through a double team, kicks to the right, Foster, 10 on the timer. A little ball fake. He wants to drive. Got inside. Back to the left. Boozer thought about a 3. Run into by Ejiofor. No whistle. Offensive rebound, Gungba. Not sure it caught the rim. Cam launches up top, and it won't go. Sarr tapped it. Foster has it. Good position. Waits off the window and in. His first points of the night. Cuts it to 8. 55-47. 14-15 to go. The Blue Devil bench still steaming about that no whistle on the outside when Ejiofor crashed into Cameron Boozer. Along the right sideline at Sellers. Now up top, Jackson. Around the perimeter, Mitchell, and now Prey. Leave it for Sellers. 6 minutes gone in the second half. Duke down 55-47. It's Jackson to the right. Sellers catches it low. 7 and 6. Back up top, Mitchell. Now Ejiofor on the left. 3 to shoot. Trying to drive Evans. Spins at the left elbow. The jumper is short. The rebound for Dame Sarr. Lost it, but it came to Gungba. Some nervy moments here early in the second half. And the steady hand of Caleb Foster will bring it across. Gets the screen from Cameron Boozer to the right. Drives Prey. Steps all the way through and lays it in. Big time drive for Foster. He scored the last 4. They've cut it to 6. Whistle. Timeout St. John's. We'll break for 30. 13:29 to go. Duke is back within 6.
It's tournament time, Duke fans.
A deep 3. Give it to him.
Whether you're watching from Cameron or cheering from home, gear up for the postseason with the latest Blue Devils apparel from Duke University stores. Score official Nike gear and exclusive Duke merchandise you don't find anywhere else. Shop in store or anytime at shop.duke.edu. Duke University stores, your headquarters for Duke basketball.
So 13:29 to go. The Blue Devils trying to get some momentum. Have cut it to 6, 55-49. And who else but Caleb Foster? He scored the last 4, and he's huddling the team up at midcourt as we see Darren Harris for the first time tonight, the sophomore out of Herndon, Virginia.
Caleb Foster having not played since the regular season finale. If there's rust, it's not in the leadership category.
So it's Hamenya, Foster, Cameron Boozer, Patrick Gungba, and Darren Harris. Starling brings it across for St. John's for Mitchell now. Blue Devils sticking with the zone defense. Here's Darling to the free throw line. The floater with the left hand is good. Got position inside. He's got 8. And the St. John's lead back to 8. 57-49. 13-10 to go. Here's Caleb Foster across midcourt. He's got the last 4, looking for more. Drives Darling into the paint. Little bully ball. Waits, flipped it up, and got the roll. Foster has the last 6. And the deficit is 6. Now you need to stop with 12:56 to go. Darling for St. John's. Bounces one to the right sideline. Mitchell back for Darling. Back for Mitchell playing catch. Into the right corner. Seller's going to try 3 over Gung, but rattled out. The rebound for Cameron Boozer. And now Foster will bring it up slowly. Blue Devils have hit their last 3 from the field. He gets a screen to the right. It's Foster on the drive again. Into the paint. Put it off the window. He'll shoot 2. Sellers picks up the foul. Foster starting to warm to the challenge.
Certainly is. It's starting to remind me of the game at Louisville when Duke was down in the second half, and Caleb Foster willed that team back in that game.
And as he heads to the line, we'll remind you the Blue Devil basketball is brought to you in part by Kohl's. From jerseys to hats and more fan favorites, find everything you need to gear up for game day at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. The first attempt for Foster is short. Of everything he's done well this year, free throws have been a bit of a challenge, 58.5%. Shakes the shoulders free. See if he can hit the second. On the way. 1 out of 2. He scored the last 7. 5-point game. And now the Duke faithful come to their feet. 12.5 minutes to go. Darling behind the back across midcourt. Nearly lost it. Poked loose by Halminia, but a reach-in foul is called. And for Nicholas, that is his first. 5th on the team. St. John's has been whistled for 4. The Blue Devil bench did not love that call. St. John's trying to decide who's going to inbound it with 12:27 to go. It'll be Hopkins on the right sideline. Waits, gets it in for Darling. Looks over to the left, into the arms of Dylan Mitchell. Now further to the left, it's Hopkins. Half the shot clock is gone. Sellers out near midcourt. To the right, it's Hopkins again. Lobs one to the left. They're playing catch on the perimeter. 9 to shoot. Now it's Ejiofor at the free throw line. Awkward looking jumper. Didn't get the roll. Cameron Boozer the rebound. And he'll bring it out and leave it for Caleb Foster. The junior out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. Trying to rally his team here in the Sweet 16. Back for Boozer on the right. Drives inside, put it off the window and in. Cameron's got 13. They're back within 3. Halminia theft in backcourt. A chance to get closer. It's Foster for 3. Oh, short. And out of bounds and over to St. John's. That might have brought the house down. Instead, we've got a timeout. But the Blue Devils have found their footing here in the second half. 11:46 to go. Back within 3. It's 57-54.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $200 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.49 to 4.37. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Down many ways, streets, and lanes all across America, you'll find Valero at your go-to gas station, volunteering with local charities, fueling communities 365 days a year, and generally being a good neighbor. So whether you're in Texas, Louisiana, or Tennessee, or right here in Durham, you can always depend on us getting you where you need to be, in life or on the road, right now.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
11:46 to go in the ball game. The Blue Devils, after being down by 10 moments ago, climbing the ladder. They're back within 3, 57-54. David Shoemate alongside John Roth. John Rose, our producer and engineer, back inside our network studios, is Trip Hurd. This is Duke's 31st trip to the Sweet 16. Their third in a row, trying to get to the Elite Eight for third consecutive season for the 26th time. Of course, for St. John's, this is their first Sweet 16 since 1999, their 10th all-time, and the fourth time since the tournament expanded to 64 teams in 1985. And tonight's game between Duke and St. John's is presented by Duke Stores. It's tournament time, Duke fans. Whether you're watching from Cameron or cheering from home, gear up for the postseason with the latest Blue Devils apparel from Duke University Stores. Score official Nike gear and exclusive Duke merchandise you won't find anywhere else. Shop in-store anytime at shop.duke.edu. Duke University Stores, your headquarters for Duke basketball.
St. John's has not been to the Sweet 16 very often recently, as you noted, since 99. Their head coach has been very successful, though this is in the Sweet 16. He's 12-1 in his previous 13 trips to this round of the tournament, so he knows what it takes to move on, and right now trying to fend off the Blue Devils.
And that lineup that provided so much energy a moment ago still out there. Nicholas Amenya, Darren Harris, Caleb Foster, Cameron Boozer, and Patrick Gongbo. And a three-quarter court press. Mitchell lobs it to the left. Darling back to the right. It's Mitchell. Waits. Got across midcourt. Dangerous pass. It came to Ejiofor. Now back outside for Darling and Mitchell. Around to the right, Sellers. Half the shot clock is gone. Darling on the drive. Back pedals. 12 to shoot. Amenya there. Now to the right it goes. Facing up is Mitchell. Lobs one inside for Ejiofor. To the right corner. Sellers is open, and he hit a three. Now Isaiah Sellers is a really good three-point shooter. That's his 53rd of the season. And St. John's leads by 6 again, 60-54. Their 11th three of the ball game on 22 attempts. Here's Caleb Foster, spinning by Darling up top. Got a little bit of screen, back for Boozer. He'll drive inside. Back down on Mitchell. Spin himself. Take the contact, flip it up. Didn't get it. Got his own rebound. Waiting on Ejiofor. One dribble, through contact, put it up and in. Boozer's up to 15. The deficit is 4, 60-56 as we go under 11 minutes to play. Here's Darling for St. John's across midcourt. Looking for space, not there. To the right, Mitchell, inside Ejiofor. Back out for Darling. Thought about it, drives closer. Back outside Sellers, couldn't catch it cleanly. Send it over to the right and Darling. Darren Harris there defensively. 10 to shoot, inside Ejiofor at the right elbow to the corner. Mitchell, 7 to shoot, out for Darling again. This one's offline. The rebound ricocheted into the corner. Foster trying to save it. It's off St. John's and out of bounds. Caleb Foster, his imprints all over this rally. They have it back down by 4.
Certainly was a good hustle play. Went into that corner and used his left hand to knock it off of the St. John's player to get it back for the Blue Devils. Now they got to inbound it right in front of the St. John's bench.
An awkward spot as we see Josan Sandin coming back in and Sellers out for St. John's. And Amenya will inbound it just in front of the Red Storm bench. Let's go Duke is the chant for the Duke faithful here in D.C. Amenya to get it in. Harris trying to fight through a foul. They lob it to the baseline. There's Caleb Foster. Darling there defensively. Crossing over, brings it across midcourt with 10:22 to go. Caleb waits, looks to the left. Cameron Boozer comes to set a screen. He'll take it. Work his way off another one set from Harris. Back to Boozer. Goes inside. The lob to Gungba. Catches but couldn't shoot. One dribble. Now Amenya with the right-handed floater that's good. Like a hot potato, but it found the bucket. And they're back within 2. 60-58 as we approach the midway point of the second half. And the Duke faithful on their feet. Darling to the left. There's Mitchell. Hopkins and Sandin. They're running the weave up top. Now to the left. Darling and now Sandin again. 10 to shoot. A bounce pass for Ejiofor. Thought about a 3. Send it to the right, Hopkins. 6 and 5 on the timer. Swings it low. Drives inside. Spins to the middle. 2 to shoot. 1. Tough fadeaway. Got it. Outstanding defense, but St. John's hits another one, and their lead is 4, 62-58 with 9.5 minutes to go. As Gungba had it knocked loose in backcourt, it came to Foster. 2 seconds to get it across. He barely beat the timeline, or did he? The officials say no. And a turnover gives it back to the Red Storm.
That was close, right on the 10-second limit. The clock had gone down to 19, but he was over midcourt at that point.
As we get another look, it's very close.
Oh.
And clearly no benefit of the doubt given there.
No.
As Isaiah Evans returned and Darren Harris will leave. So now you need a stop. Trailing by 4, 62-58. The offense has started to heat up. Duke has made 6 of their last 8. Hopkins and Darling playing catch up top. Crossing over, Darling into the paint. A hop step back outside, Ejiofor can't shoot. To the right, Darling now to the corner, Sandin. Whipped one inside. Ejiofor one-on-one with Boozer, flipped it up. No, Boozer's got the rebound. And here comes Caden Boozer across midcourt. Cameron's up to 8 boards now with 15 points. Caden on the drive. Back outside, Hamenya. He'll drive Darling. Whistle blocking foul. And for Darling, that's his third. 5th on St. John's here in the second half. Each team called for 5 now.
And really no question about that in my mind, even though St. John's was not too happy. Hamenya had no path to the basket. It blocked.
Caden will cue it in. Left baseline, right side of the hoop. Out there with Isaiah Evans, his brother Cameron, Patrick Gungba, and Nicholas Hamenya. The officials holding things here as everyone's told to tuck their shirts in, and now we're ready. Caden Boozer to cue it in. Trying to find a cutter inside, not there, so flips it out near midcourt for Cameron Boozer. Waiting. In front of Hopkins. Gets a screen from Evans. Drives to the right. Still with Hopkins defending. Backs him down, 10 to shoot. Into the paint. Here comes a double team. A kick out for Caden. Up top, Evans. A little ball fake. He'll drive. 6 on the timer. The 15-footer is pure. Right in front of his bench. He knocks it down. And they're back within 2 at 62-60 with 8:39 to go. Isaiah's up to 16. Jackson at the top of the key. Drifts to the left. Can't shoot over Evans. Further to the sideline in front of the St. John's bench. It's Hopkins. Now to the baseline. Ejiofor. One-on-one with Gungba. Leans into him. 8 to shoot. Backpedals. Try to throw back outside. Deflected by Cameron Boozer out of bounds. It'll stay with St. John's with 6 to shoot. And 8:19 to go.
Duke's defense has been at a high level the last 2 or 3 minutes. See if they can do it again for 6 more seconds and get the ball back.
With a chance to perhaps tie or retake the lead. Trailing 62-60. Here's Hopkins to cue it in. Right baseline, left side of the hoop. Does. It's Mitchell. Up top, Jackson. 3 to shoot. A helpful 3 wouldn't go, and the rebound for Isaiah Evans. Great defense, and now a chance to tie or retake the lead. Here's Caden Boozer. Surveys. Backing down on Ian Jackson. Bounces one for Cameron. Hopkins defending 35 feet out. Evans gives the screen. Back to Evans up top for 3. Got it! Slam from deep! And Duke has the lead! 63-62, 7:47 to go. Along the left sideline, Hopkins to answer, and he does in front of the St. John's bench. He's got 11. 65-63, St. John's back in front. 7:33 to go. They get it in for Hamenya. Spinning on Hopkins along the left sideline. Nicholas waits. Sends it for Cameron Boozer. Faces up, being defended up top by Dylan Mitchell. Evans comes to set a screen. He takes it to the right, back to Slim. Thought about it again. He'll drive instead. To the rack, flip it up. Got it. Falling down, he hit. He's got 20, and we're tied at 65 with 7:05 to go. Make it 21 for Slim. Here's Sandin. Over to the left and Hopkins. Waits, bounces one up top, Ejiofor. Back to the left, Hopkins. To the corner, Jackson. Now to the baseline, Mitchell. 10 to shoot. 10 feet out on the left. Back to Jackson on the left corner. Couldn't hit a 3. Weak side rebound for Evans. And a chance to retake the lead with 6:40 to go. They've made their last 5 from the field. Across midcourt, it's Caden Boozer. Waits. Dribbles to the center circle. Now goes back to the left sideline. Jackson all over him. Half the shot clock is gone. Caden Boozer waits. Still waiting. 11 to shoot. Drives. Flips it back up top. Evans again. Couldn't hit. Whistle and a foul on who? I think it's on St. John's and Jackson crashing into Gungba. Either way, we've got a timeout. We'll wait to see who the foul is on. I think it's on Jackson. The officials walk to the scores table. It is. 16th foul, no free throws, but Duke will have it when we come back. 6:23 to go. Tied at 65 here in D.C.
You got next. The next open road. The next uncharted trail. With Ford Bronco and Ford Bronco Sport, you've got the next great SUV. Equipped with a blend of off-road performance, on-road precision, and plenty of power to conquer the next adventure. For the latest offers on a new Bronco or Bronco Sport, you got next. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
This is Blue Devil basketball from Learfield.
It's bow time.
Carolina legends aren't born. They're handmade, only in Bo's Real Southern Kitchen. It all starts with fresh, never frozen chicken marinated for 24 hours in a flavor-packed blend of bold Southern seasonings. Then we hand bread and fry it to crispy, juicy, mouth-watering perfection. That's not just any chicken, that's the Carolina legend. Order some Bojangles and taste what everyone's been craving since 1977. It's Bo time.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
Great defense, and now a chance to tie or retake the lead. Here's Caden Boozer. Surveys. Backing down on Ian Jackson. Bounces one for Cameron. Hopkins defending 35 feet out. Evans gives a screen. Back to Evans up top for three. Got it! Slam from deep! And Duke has the lead! 63-62, 7:47 to go.
Isaiah Evans hot here in the second half. That three gave Duke the 1-point lead. St. John's answered with a three to retake the lead, and then Isaiah Evans answered with a layup to tie the score. So that's where we are right now. 65 apiece with 6:23 to go in this contest. And Isaiah Evans leading all scorers in this game with 21 points.
During the timeout, the common foul on number 11 has been upgraded to a flagrant 1. 21 for Duke will shoot 2 and have the ball inside out with 20 on the shot clock.
So big development there. Sorry to cut you off, John Roth, but Ron Groover announcing that common foul on Ian Jackson because of the follow-through, I guess, on the push has been upgraded to a flagrant foul. So 2 free throws for Gungba and possession for the Blue Devils.
Big deal. Tie game, 6:23 to go.
And Pat alone at the free throw line. Missed the first. He's been a good free throw shooter, but tonight it's been a bit of a struggle. Now 1 for 5 at the line. He'll have one more, and again, they'll have possession. See if he can hit this one. Nope.
And they get the ball back. 6:23 to go.
Still tied at 65. And it'll be Hamid inbound along the left sideline. Pat, as we told you, 69% at the line, but unfortunately tonight just 1 out of 6. I'll argue, though, those empty free throw line free throws are so difficult. Off the inbound, it's Evans. He's had a hot hand. Wants to drive on Mitchell. Forgot the basketball. Got it back. 12 to shoot. Bounces one for Cameron Boozer, top of the key. Waits, faces up. Puts it on the deck. Back pedals with 7 to shoot. Dancing with Hopkins. Bully ball. Backs him down to the post. Put it up and got it. Wow, he muscled it home. He's got 17. Duke has the lead again. 6 minutes to go. It's 67-65. Edge of 4 for St. John's. Leaves it for Sandin. He wants to drive into the paint. Tough scoop. Off the window. No. Brown's got the rebound. The Blue Devils have made each of their last 6 from the field, and they're looking for more. Here's Caden Boozer with 5:40 to go. Backpedals to midcourt. Crosses over. Hard screen from Cameron. Caden drives. Whistle and a foul on Darling with the body. His 4th, 7th team foul will send Caden Boozer to the line to shoot 1 and 1.
For everything that Cam Boozer does in a game, he is playing so tough and physical in this contest. He's being attacked every time he gets the ball, but he is setting screens. He is determined to get the Blue Devils to the finish line today.
And now Caden to shoot the 1 and 1. His first attempts of the ball game, 80.9% on the year. Looking for his first point of the second half. He's been so steady while Caleb Foster's been dealing with this injury, and the front end of the 1 and 1 wouldn't go. Man, 3 consecutive missed free throws, but they still got the lead, 67-65 with 5.5 minutes to go. Here's Hopkins for St. John's. Over to the right and Sellers. Now to the left, it's Jackson. Off of a screen set by Edge of 4. They swing it for Sellers. Back up top. Mitchell whip it to the left. Jackson catches with 12 to shoot. Wants to drive Caden Boozer behind the back. Step back 3. No, the rebound for Cameron Boozer. And with 5:13 to go, St. John's hasn't scored in more than 2 minutes. And now Caden Boozer trying to add to this 2-point lead. Bounces one to the left, deflected by Jackson, but Brown able to save it. 5 minutes to go, Duke by 2, the winner to the Elite Eight. Here's Cameron Boozer. 10 on the timer. Looks to the left, wants to screen from Hamenya, gets it. Drives Hopkins, goes inside, spins, elevates, can't hit. Hamenya can't get the rebound, and Hopkins has it for St. John's. We're under 5 minutes to go. Duke up 67-65. Hopkins on the drive, spins on Hamenya, forgot the basketball. To the deck to save it, he did for Sellers. 17 to shoot. Dribbles up top. 12 on the timer. Wants to drive Hamenya. Got inside. Tough scoop. Blocked by Brown. They fight for the rebound. Brown threw it off Hopkins. The shot clock reset. He drives, scores. Counted in a foul. Oh, man. The Blue Devils nearly had the possession, and now it's St. John's at the line looking for the lead.
Duke did just about everything right defensively on that possession, and St. John's got the ball back for an easy one. Oh.
The bucket for Hopkins gives him 13. It was 4:22 to go. It's Hopkins at the line trying to give St. John's the advantage. As Hamenya will come out and Dame Sarr returns. So it's Foster, Sarr, Evans, Brown, and Boozer. Cameron Boozer. And here is Hopkins, who was 1 out of 2 at the line in the first half.
This is only St. John's second free throw attempt of this half.
The Blues have taken 7, but only made 2 of them. Hopkins trying to give the Red Storm the lead. The right-handed free throw shooter. Missed it. Oh, dunk follow. Mitchell came wide open on the offensive glass. It's a 4-point trip for the Red Storm, and they're up 69-67. Caleb Foster in backcourt, harassed by Mitchell. 4 seconds to get it across. Bounces it for Boozer in front of Hopkins. See what Cameron and company can do. Trailing now with 4 minutes to go, 69-67. He'll drive Hopkins. Backpedal, send it to the left. There's Evans. He wants to drive. Got a step back 3. Oh, he hit it! Over Jackson! He rattled it home! Duke by 1, 70-69. 3:45 to go. At the other end, Hopkins picked up his dribble in jail back up top. It's Jackson. Can you get a stop? Jackson on the drive in on Boozer, flipped it to the corner. Sellers can't shoot over Foster, steps closer, left it short, weak side rebound, fought for. Who else? Cameron Boozer's got it. And a double-double for him, his 22nd of the season. 3:19 to go. 70-69, Duke with the lead and in possession. Cameron Boozer off of a screen set by Evans, has it on the left. Dancing with Jackson, drives him into the paint. Little contact, off the window! Counted in a foul! Cameron Boozer going to the line when we come back. The lead is 3, 72-69. Down the stretch we go in D.C. The winner to the Elite Eight. And Duke leads St. John's 72-69 with 3:06 to go.
Greetings from Breeze Airways, your hometown airline flying from Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Fly nonstop from Raleigh to Pensacola and 40 other postcard-worthy cities. This year goes somewhere worth writing home about. Breeze makes it easy with nonstop flights, flexible change policies, and a seriously nice onboard experience. Enjoy premium seating with Breeze Ascent, plus high-speed Wi-Fi and tasty snacks. Book today at flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways in partnership with Pensacola International Airport.
It's tournament time, Duke fans.
Deep 3. Give it to him.
Whether you're watching from Cameron or cheering from home, gear up for the postseason with the latest Blue Devils apparel from Duke University stores. Score official Nike gear and exclusive Duke merchandise you don't find anywhere else. Shop in store or anytime at shop.duke.edu. Duke University stores, your headquarters for Duke basketball.
Hey, I'm Coach John Shire with Duke Men's Basketball. For our team, preparation starts long before tip-off. Every practice, every play, and every recovery matters. If a player is injured, they need expert care fast. That's why we count on Duke Orthopedics for quick access to world-class care. And you can too. From Cameron and North to locations throughout the Triangle, they have experts to help keep you in the game. Don't let pain bench you. Duke Orthopedics is ready when you are.
Orthopedic appointments within 48 hours. Duke Health is ready when you are. Visit DukeHealth48.com to schedule an orthopedic appointment.
Well, we're back here in D.C., 3:06 to play in the ball game. Duke by 3, 72-69. Isaiah Evans, how clutch is he? 24 points, 4 of 8 from 3, 10 of 15 from the field. Cameron Boozer, 19 and 10. And the Blue Devils have wrestled the lead away from St. John's and now looking to make it a 2-possession game with Cameron Boozer shooting an and one out of the timeout. They lead at 72-69 with 3:06 to go. Let's reset it for you. Each team with a full and a 30. Each head coach with 2 timeouts remaining. St. John's has the possession arrow. Also worth noting, each coach still has their challenge. And, of course, if you get that right while you still have a timeout, you can get another one. So that's something to keep an eye on down the stretch because we haven't talked about it a lot. But remember, this year, the officials, under 2 minutes, they can go to the monitor on their own to check goaltending and the block charge circle rule. At no point can they go to the monitor and check time out of bounds on their own. You have to challenge that. So something to keep an eye on. Foul difficulty, Darling has 4 for St. John's. 3 for Jackson. He just picked up his serve for the Blue Devils. Caden Boozer has 3, but really neither side and a ton of foul difficulty. And now Cameron Boozer at the line, where tonight he is 5 out of 5, trying to make it a 73-69 scoreline.
And I would say just simply, if you need any more reason for why Cameron Boozer's the National Player of the Year, you just saw it on that last offensive possession, going through the entire St. John's team, off to the right side, banking it in, drawing the foul, finishing the play, and now trying to give Duke a 4-point lead.
Looking for his 20th point of the night. He's got it. My goodness. 21st time this year he's had 20 or more. Duke by 4, 73-69. We've got 3 minutes to go in the Sweet 16. Mitchell for St. John's has it up top. Now to the right, it's Sellers. Looking to the right corner. It's not there for Darling. Ejiofor comes up top to claim it. Swings it low on Brown. 12 to shoot. To the left, nothing doing. Looking back door, nobody home. Back up top, Sellers will take a 3, and it won't go. And the rebound chased down by Caleb Foster. 2:40 to go, and now they'll bring it across up by 4. He fought his way to get back out here, and now can he provide a dagger? Foster off of a screen, set by Cameron, drives Ejiofor into the paint, steps through, got it blocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Duke with 10 to shoot and 2:22 to go.
But the smart play for Caleb Foster to take that ball to the basket, close to drawing a foul. Duke retains possession.
A quick look for Rick Pitino to his bench. They're not going to challenge. And now with 10 to shoot, Foster to inbound. They do this so well, these out-of-bounds plays. Man, Sarr being held off the inbound. They get it to Brown instead on the right sideline. Now Cameron Boozer again. 6 to shoot. He'll drive Hopkins into the paint, kick to the corner. Foster will step to the right and hit it 2. Cold-blooded. He's got 9. The lead is 6. 2:07 to go. My goodness. Darling for St. John's. To the left, it's Mitchell, a drive to the corner. Hopkins back up top. Ejiofor a 3. Got it. Zuby Ejiofor with 14. 75-72. Duke by 3, 1:50 to go. Some high-level basketball here in the Sweet 16. Here's Caleb Foster across midcourt. Darling all over him. 1:40 to play. 17 to shoot. Foster spins back to the left. Backpedals out near midcourt. 12 to shoot. Drives to the right, cut off by Darling. 10 and 9. Crosses over, goes inside. Flipped it up and in! He's taking over! Foster's got 11. The lead is 5, 1:20 to go. At the other end, it's Darling on the right for 3. No! The rebound for Mitchell. Back up top, Hopkins. 1:13 to go. Duke by 5. And now Ejiofor again up top. Not this time. Brown tapped the rebound. They couldn't save it. St. John's will have it with 1:07 to play. How's your heart?
Caleb Foster, man. Oh, he's warming my heart.
Timeout. St. John's will break for 30. 1:07 to go. Duke up by 5.
Hey, I'm Coach John Shire with Duke Men's Basketball. For our team, preparation starts long before tip-off. Every practice, every play, and every recovery matters. If a player is injured, they need expert care fast. That's why we count on Duke Orthopedics for quick access to world-class care. And you can too. From Cameron and North to locations throughout the Triangle, they have experts to help keep you in the game. Don't let pain bench you. Duke Orthopedics is ready when you are.
Orthopedic appointments within 48 hours. Duke Health is ready when you are. Visit DukeHealth48.com to schedule an orthopedic appointment.
All right, we're back here in D.C. Duke up 77-72 with 1:07 to go. Rick Pitino using his final 30-second timeout. He's got a full remaining, still has his challenge. The Blue Devils, of course, John Shire has a full and a 30 remaining and still has his challenge. Once again, St. John's has the possession arrow. Duke has been whistled for 6 fouls, so it's 1-1 for St. John's on common fouls. Same story at the other end. St. John's has been whistled for 8. And with 1:07 to go, St. John's will have 20 to shoot. Inbounding on the right baseline, left side of the hoop, with Hopkins to cue it in. And the Duke faithful standing across the way, trying to will John Shire's group to the Elite Eight for a 3rd consecutive season. And Caleb Foster trying to drag his team to the finish line. All 11 of his points here in the second half. Here's Hopkins to get it in. Now for Mitchell. 1:03 to go. Mitchell pounding the basketball. As we go into the final minute, underhand scoop on the left sideline. It's Sellers on the drive on Evans. Spinning back outside Hopkins. 7 to shoot. A drive by Sarr. Got inside. Wild scoop. Reversed it home. 52.1 to go. Hopkins gets the bucket. He's got 15. Duke by 3. Long hit ahead for Gungba to beat the pressure. 22 seconds, the differential shot clock to game clock. Sellers flips it back for Foster, and we get a whistle and a timeout for Duke. I think the St. John's bench wanted them to foul Gungba with his free throw struggles, but they did not. With 40.2 to go, the head coach of the Blue Devils calls for time, and we break for 30 with Duke up by 3.
You got next. The next open road. The next uncharted trail. With Ford Bronco and Ford Bronco Sport, you've got the next great SUV. Equipped with a blend of off-road performance, on-road precision, and plenty of power to conquer the next adventure. For the latest offers on the new Bronco or Bronco Sport, you got next. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
So now each team with 1 timeout. John Shire taking his full timeout, so he'll have a 30 left. St. John's has a full remaining. The free throw story is similar. 1-1 on common fouls on either end of the floor. And St. John still has the possession arrow. They don't have to foul trailing by 3 with 40.7 to go. There's about a 21-second differential shot clock to game clock, but it seems like Rick Pitino is probably telling everybody over there, because Gung was still in the game, if he does catch it, they want him to foul, or want St. John's to foul. But he's been a good free throw shooter all year long.
John Shire showing his confidence in his guy. He's leaving him out there.
He's out there.
It'd be easy to put in somebody else, Amenya.
How about this? This is the starting lineup all year long. Caleb Foster, Isaiah Evans, Dame Sarr, Cameron Boozer, and Patrick Gungba. Fitting, trying to finish it off here in the Sweet 16. Sarr to inbound right sideline. Bounces it in for Foster in front of Mitchell. 38 seconds to go. Foster very comfortable in possession. Waiting, gets a screen from Cameron Boozer. Now Hopkins on him. 9 to shoot. Whistle, foul off the ball on Mitchell. Grabbing Cameron Boozer. And that'll be his 3rd. And now Cameron to the line on the 9th team foul to shoot. 1-1 with 32.4 to go. And it gives us a chance to tell you the Blue Devil basketball is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. Gungba out, Hamenya in before the 1-1.
And I'm thinking if I'm St. John's, I'm grabbing anybody but Cam Boozer and Isaiah Evans. But
Cameron's been clutch all year long. It's in his DNA. His father won a national title at Duke in 2001. He's trying to make it a 2-possession game. The front end of the 1-1 is too strong, and the rebound for Hopkins. 30 seconds to go. Duke by 3, 77-74. Here's Darling across midcourt. Off of a screen to the right. Boozer defending him. Darling a crossover. 20 seconds to go. A bounce pass up top for Ejiofor. He'll drive Sarr into the paint, falling down, flipped it up, missed it. Oh, and a foul up top. On the drive, they get Sarr. And that's his first and 2 free throws with 14.7 to go. I don't know, John Ross. What do you think?
I'm just watching it right now. They didn't call the foul till after the shot had missed and a rebound was made.
And it'll be Ejiofor to shoot 2, as they say he was shooting. In the ball game, he's made his only 2 free throws, 71.8% on the year, trailing by 3. The senior out of Garland, Texas, hit the first. He's got 15 now. As Caden Boozer comes back in, Hamenya checks out as well. So you got Foster, Caden and Cameron Boozer, Dame Sarr, and Isaiah Evans. Duke by 2, 14.7 to go. One more for Ejiofor. On the way. Missed it. The rebound for Dame Sarr. Now Evans has it. 11 seconds to go, and they foul him with 10.8. And that is exactly who you want going to the line to shoot 2 on the 10th team foul.
No question, Isaiah Evans been doing it all year, 86%. He's having a great game here tonight. This is his first trip to the free throw line tonight, however.
And Rick Pitino is going to use his final timeout here. That's interesting to me because he can't challenge anything now on out-of-bounds plays. I know you want to talk strategy, but given the circumstances, we'll keep it here with 10.8 to go. Isaiah Evans, 86.4% on the year at the line. The Blue Devils, no question, have had their free throw struggles here at the second half, but I don't think you want anybody but Isaiah shooting 2, up by 2 with 10.8 to go in the Sweet 16.
No question, Isaiah Evans is the guy you would handpick to be in this situation anytime this year, but certainly here tonight with the season on the line, he can make this a 2-possession game with 10.8 seconds left.
You know, there was a story online today. They were interviewing his mother and talking about his decision to come back to Duke, having obviously in the NCAA tournament, he didn't play a ton of minutes a year ago, and she talked about very similar to his high school experience. He had to work through things, and you don't just leave when it gets hard. He stayed, and now you look here, John Rawl, 24 points in the Sweet 16.
And I think what everybody within the Duke program likes about Isaiah Evans is that he came back wanting to be coached, not just coached well, but coached hard by Coach Shire. He certainly has been. It's made him a much better player, and now he's got a chance to help the Blue Devils move on, and they did put some time back on the clock, up to 11.2.
And now St. John's is out of timeouts. The Blue Devils with the 2-point advantage, and Isaiah Evans shooting 2. Trying to make it a 2-possession game. Isaiah's out there with Caleb Foster, Cameron Boozer, Dame Sarr, and Nicholas Hamenya. And the sophomore out of Fayetteville, their leading scorer in the ball game, to shoot 2. The best free throw shooter on the team. Sends the first one on the way. Too strong. He'll have one more.
This will be a very important one.
Yep.
To make it a 3-point game.
And with 11.2 to go. One more for Evans. Steadies himself. One dribble. Spins it on the way. Got that one. So it's 78-75, 11.2 to go. Darling in backcourt. Brings it across midcourt. Darling shoved off on Sarr. Crossed over. Again, up top of 3. No! Off the backboard. St. John's can't save it. It's out of bounds to the Blue Devils with 1.8 to go. All you got to do is get it in, and you'll dance on to Sunday afternoon. 78-75. Hamenya's got to get it in, though. They got a timeout if they need it. Waiting, he'll use it here. Smart. And we'll keep it here with 1.8 to go.
I know all you got to do is get it in, but against St. John's, that's the one thing that's very difficult to do at times.
And now neither side has a timeout. And the Blue Devils trying to hold on for dear life, 1.8 seconds away from their 26th trip to the Elite Eight. It has not been easy. You knew how good St. John's was. Champions of the Big East, regular season and the tournament. Of course, the Blue Devils have done that in consecutive years. And it has been a big-time battle tonight. I think we might have more time because the officials are over at the monitor looking at this since the timeout was taken. It was a 30-second timeout. It'll be longer than that. And good on this officiating crew. You want to make sure you get this right. So much riding on this. So many storylines here tonight. The return of Caleb Foster on the floor, but into those clutch moments yet again. 11 after halftime. Isaiah Evans, 14 of his 25 after intermission, and Cameron Boozer, 11 of his 20 in the second half.
A big second half for the Blue Devils. They outscored St. John's so far, 39-35 in this half after being outscored in the first half. And don't forget, Duke was down by 10 points in this game earlier in the half, 55-45. So they had to fight to get this done.
Those three guys have 33 of the 36, I should say, the 39 after halftime.
2.1.
So they put 2.1 on the clock. And Caleb Foster will be the inbounder on the right baseline, left side of the hoop. As Darling comes off the floor. And we're ready. It's Foster, Saar, Caden, and Cameron Boozer, and Isaiah Evans. It's a spot throw-in. Caleb waiting, looking for the baseball pass. Instead, a bounce pass for Cameron Boozer. He's fouled with 1.5 to go. His jersey just got ripped. He just kind of smiles and smirks. He knows what that's like all year long, dealing with contact. And now, John Roth, 2 free throws, you make either one, and you're on to the Elite Eight.
You are. You certainly are. Cam Boozer's certainly the guy that can do that.
Kind of fitting it's in his hands, isn't it?
They just ripped the K right off of Duke, right off the top of his chest.
Can you play it? I honestly don't know. The officials are talking to him.
Can he rip it all the way off? Or I guess with 1.5 to go, we're going to let this go and see if Cam can knock down a free throw.
They just ripped it open so you could see his heart. The first of two is on the way. Good night. Cameron Boozer knocks it down. He's got 21. It's a 4-point game with 1.5 to go. Chris Carrawell standing. He can sense it. A slap of the hands with Emmanuel Dildy. The Duke faithful loving it. One more for Cameron on the way. Why not? Got them both. 80-75. It's Hopkins from midcourt. It won't go. And Duke marches on into the Elite Eight for the 26th time. Everybody's back. And Foster's back in a big way. 11 after halftime. He, Evans, and Cameron Boozer took over. And the Blue Devils have won 14 in a row. Their 35th win of the season. Gritty and tough. And they will play on Sunday for the right to go to the Final Four. What a ball game. You knew it would be, John Roth, and it delivered in every way.
It delivered in every way. A second half, really, I don't know for the ages, but certainly for this season, it was an